wall for the day. And 84-year-olds having 21st birthday parties. But another guarantee this leap day, and only in Ireland, is that one Eurodreams player will win €2,000 every month for the next 5 years. That's €2,000 a month for 5 years. Guaranteed. But only if you play Eurodreams on the 29th of February. The National Lottery. It could be you. Play responsibly, play for fun.
Hold that door.
Where are you going with all that gear?
I'm applying for a community heritage grant.
Maps, a scanner, night vision goggles?
For the nocturnal animals.
But you don't need all that stuff, do you?
Not at all. All you need is a worthy project, but the grant covers so many heritage projects, you can never be too prepared.
Well, good thing we're going up, so give your project a lift. Apply for a community heritage grant at heritagecouncil.ie/funding. Applications close March 25th. Supported by the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage.
Gregory's after 9 o'clock. I wanted to ask you about Big Hudson, Big 3 party.
He's the big 03 boy.
Oh, well, he's not 33, but he's...
03.
03, yes. Isn't he big boy for 3, isn't he?
I don't know, I think so.
God, he is. Looking great.
Yeah, no, he's a great wee boy.
Ah, that's great. And the other thing I wanted, but we might have to chat about, what did you buy online? You had me in suspenders all weekend.
No, it's literally nothing.
What did you buy?
Well, I shop local, right? Particularly with electronics, TVs, laptops, tablets. If you have to, if there's a problem,
go back to store.
Go back with it. But I need a laptop, right? So I was online. I went into a shop, and there's a reason why I went out. So I've bought a laptop for €220.
In the shop?
No, online.
Right, new.
Brand new 15-inch screen.
From a legit website, is it?
Yeah.
It's not imported via
but
containers.
It's coming later today, and I can't wait to see how bad or good it is. So I'm going to return it anyway if it's bad. But €220, how much did it say? €240.
But see, laptops are a thing of the kind of...
No, it's an 8 gig memory, 10-hour battery, 256 gig hard drive, a 4 quad-core processor.
God, good enough.
HD screen.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see what they actually deliver.
Very good. All right, so it could come in today.
Just a big lump
we could
of crap.
unbox it live on Highland.
And
yeah, it's just
it should be €700-800.
Yeah, but they have
in terms of the tech. No, it's obviously going to be a scam.
Well, you took a big gamble of €220 on it if you thought it was going to be a scam.
Yeah, but it's through Amazon, so it's very easy to get a refund.
Is it? Well, let's just wait and see. Can't wait to see it now then. Take it in.
We'll see. All right then.
Have a good show. Right,
all right, Lee, bye-bye. It's 9:02. Let's get a news update, and it's over to Michaela Clark.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Ahead of the upcoming elections this year, Defective Bloc campaigners are urging affected homeowners to have their say on what a true 100% redress scheme is. A meeting is being held on Monday, March the 4th at 7 p.m. at Grianan Hotel in Burt, where a document articulating the key principles of a true 100% redress scheme will be presented. The 100% redress, Micah Action and Redress focus groups believe the 4 key principles to be property, process, people and support and prevention. Chairperson of the Micah Action Group, Lisa Hohan, believes the document will be influential when it comes to people casting their vote.
That document is going to go to every single political party and every single politician in the country for a response. And that will very, very clearly set out to the electorate in terms of how they see this, where their priorities are, and whether they have any intention whatsoever of coming anywhere near what we define as a true 100% scheme.
There's calls for the Media Minister to address the Dáil in relation to events that led to the RTE chair from resigning from her position. Catherine Martin is due to appear before the Oireachtas Media Committee tomorrow after failing to express confidence in Siún Ní Raghallaigh on live TV last week. The former top civil servant in the department says she has no recollection of the approval of an exit package for former CFO Richard Collins, which included a confidentiality clause. Another crash on what has become a busy road outside Letterkenny has led to renewed calls for safety measures to be implemented. A woman was injured as a result of a crash at the Listac junction on the Rann Road over the weekend. Donegal A2 representative Mary T. Sweeney says the route has become extremely dangerous. She says signage must be erected as a matter of urgency.
I would like to see stop signs, yield signs. Before we move into the summer season, especially with visitors and tourists, we need to just take stock of all these signs that either need replaced, upgraded, or basically some of them just need washed. They're quite difficult to read, and to make it safer roads for everybody.
A woman has been arrested after a car was discovered on its roof in the Ernie Road area of Strabane yesterday evening. Police attended the scene just before 8 o'clock, where the 30-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of drink driving. There were no other vehicles involved and no reports of any injuries. The woman has been charged and is due to appear at Strabane Magistrates Court in the coming weeks. Finally, for weather, dry and bright today with long spells of sunshine. Highest temperatures of 6 to 8 degrees. That's all from Highland Radio News for now. We'll be back with news again at 10 o'clock. Until then, good morning.
Didn't know this car was diesel.
It's not.
At the garage you use the black pump. Diesel.
No idea. So we're going to miss the flight, but sun holidays are overrated. All that sun and sand, who needs it, eh?
Where'd you use the black pump? Diesel.
No idea. So, I'll call Allianz Breakdown Assistance.
With Allianz Car Insurance, you can also add breakdown assistance. Save 15% when you get a quote online at allianz.ie. You write it, we underwrite it. Allianz. Allianz plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Standard acceptance criteria, policy conditions and a minimum premium apply. Breakdown assistance is an optional extra and an additional premium applies.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello, good morning to you. 5 minutes past 9 on this Monday, the 26th of February 2024. How are you all keeping out there? I hope you had a lovely weekend, or if you're working, that work went well for you, and it's great to have you on board the 9 till noon show for the next 3 hours. And we've got loads, as you can imagine, to keep you informed and entertained. We're going to be across the big issues locally, covering the topics and features nationally and beyond as well. We want you involved in the conversation right from the get-go, and this includes if you want to raise an issue with us, if something happened over the weekend, or maybe something nice happened to you that you want to share that as well, please feel free to do so. 086 60 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text number, 086 60 25,000, or give us a call on 074 91 25,000. You can email from anywhere in the world, of course, to comments@highlandradio.com. More and more of you choosing to email as well. And if you listen to the podcast of the programme, or if you listen overnight, feel free to get involved in the conversation with that email address. We can carry it on to the next day or whenever you happen to be listening. And you want to watch the show, you can do that too if it suits you, if you're working from home or whatever it might be. We're on your smart TV or your Fire Stick on the YouTube app, Highland Radio Ireland. Just type that in, watch live, subscribe, and hit the bell. Always good if you can do that. And we're across Facebook as well, Highland Hub, Highland Radio News and Sport. Right, the Derry People Donegal news this morning. A mother whose son went missing in Donegal over 3 years ago has renewed an appeal for information as she believes there is a glimmer of hope he's still alive. Anthea Langland made the appeal during her appearance on the latest edition, The Missing, a podcast dedicated to missing people. I still have to keep hold of that hope that somebody knows that my son is out there still, she said. And we've spoken to Andrea on a number of occasions on this show, and she's a powerful, strong, brave woman and still holding out hope. But the unanswered, it must be incredibly, well, I know it is because I've spoke to her about it, the unanswered questions and not knowing, incredibly tough. The Derry News this morning, 2 widows whose husbands were murdered by the UDA in separate incidents in 1976 have accepted substantial settlements in cases brought against the MOD and PSNI. Mary Loughery, widow of Jim Loughery, and Marie Newton, widow of John Toland, settled their cases for an undisclosed significant sum. The 2 families commenced civil proceedings following the publication of reports by the Historical Inquiries team. On to the nationals now. We'll start with the Irish Times, and immigration remains at the top of the list of issues getting the attention of voters in the past month, according to the latest Irish Times Ipsos B&A snapshot survey of public sentiment. Over a fifth, that's 22% of respondents to the survey, cited immigration issues when asked what they had noticed about what the government had done recently. This represents a decline of 2 points from last month. Next on the list was housing at 15%, again a decline of 4 points from last month. Climate change, sustainability was the next most frequently mentioned issue, cited by 7% of respondents. Now, I'm not really quite sure how this survey works and what they mean by what they thought of or commented on. Just 22%. Like, if you're not say housing, for an example. I mean, if you're not concerned or thinking about housing or immigration for that matter, like what are you actually thinking of? But 22% over the last month to the survey cited immigration issues when asked what they had noticed about the government. Energy prices, the cost of living and crime, previously areas of high concern amongst voters, were each mentioned by just 3% of respondents, as was employment. Again, I don't really know how that measurement works, how to read those figures, but immigration and housing, the top two nonetheless. Speaking of immigration, in the Irish Independent, demand for migrant workers to fill skill gaps has more than doubled as government officials deal with a surge in employers seeking permits to bring in staff from outside Europe. Hikes in the minimum salaries that must be offered from last month do not seem to have put employers off. Demand for work permits has intensified since the economy hit full employment, according to the department in charge of issuing permits. Nurses, healthcare assistants, chefs, computer programmers and doctors are among the top candidates sought. A Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment spokesperson said last month was a particularly busy period for work permit applications. There was strong demand before the rollout of new higher salary thresholds for permit holders last month, and a total of 30,981 work permits were issued to people from outside the European Economic Area last year. 387 of those were in Donegal, which is relatively high compared to some counties, but not quite as high as you can imagine as it relates to the likes of Galway, Limerick, Cork and Dublin. And there's also a feature from a worker in the healthcare sector. A Nigerian healthcare assistant has told of how lonely it can be to work on a general employment permit in Ireland. John, who's 36, who studied and earned his master's degree in Ireland, has been working on his current permit for the past 2 years while his wife cares for their daughters in Nigeria. He said he loves Ireland and even speaks Irish with his elderly patients, but that life here can be difficult due to the conditions of the permit. Ever since, I've been working so hard, just thinking that if I can do more overtime, take more shifts, then it will be enough to bring them over to Ireland. We speak every day. They tell me, Dad, I miss you. I want to hug you. It's not easy. It's a difficult situation for me, he said. His family in Nigeria, and he is here working in the health service. On to the Irish Daily Mail now, and I don't really read newspapers much over the weekend, just more snapshots of stories or what have you, but it seems that the whole RTE crisis continues to dominate the papers. The government, we read in the Mail, is facing another week of chaos and infighting over an RTE crisis that appears to be escalating as the focus shifts now to Media Minister Catherine Martin and Director General Kevin Backhurst. In the wake of the controversial resignation of RTE Board Chair Siún Ní Raghallaigh in the early hours of Friday morning, the Irish Daily Mail learned Mr Backhurst is facing new pressure within government. Ms Martin is facing a media committee and a Dáil grilling on Ms Ní Raghallaigh's resignation, as well as a meeting with the board that has rebelled against her. Concern is also growing over another settlement involving the departure of David Nally, who was Mr Backhurst's number 2 when he headed up the Current Affairs department. And on it goes and on it goes. On to the red top tabloids now. We'll start with the Irish Daily Star. And 3 in 5 voters will vote yes in the referendum on women and carers. This is according to a new study, 3 in 5. So that's a significant majority, isn't it? Yep. 60%, is it 3 in 5? It is 60%. On March 8th, the public... the subtext to that is 3 in 5 voters will vote yes in the referendum on women and carers, but bishops claim the amendments will dilute the importance of marriage and motherhood. On March 8th, the public will be asked if the reference in the Constitution to a mother's duties in the home should be replaced with an article recognising the role of family carers. The latest Red C poll for the Sunday Business Post revealed 58% of those asked intend to vote yes in the carers referendum, which aims to widen the definition of the family. However, in a statement read out at masses nationwide on behalf of bishops yesterday, they said the family based on the exclusive, lifelong and life-giving public commitment of marriage is the foundation cell of society and essential to the common good. But the argument from the government is that ship's already sailed. In other words, that might be what one might feel and might hope, but it's not really the makeup of families anymore. But that's where the bishops stand on that anyway. Ireland's being targeted with huge drug shipments because our poorly patrolled waters are asked to be, or are asking to be, exploited. This is in the Sun this morning. The Irish Navy, described as the eyes and ears of the North Atlantic, are down to just one vessel actively protecting a region which is 8 times our land mass. Ellie James Joyce and Ellie George Bernard Shaw are currently doing back-to-back patrols, so only one is on patrol at any time. Just 10 days ago, almost €33 million worth of crystal meth was seized at Cork Port, but I mean, the huge expanse of water, and obviously those moving drugs feel that we're a soft target, because what's being found or discovered or washed up in shores is obviously the tip of the drugs iceberg. And finally, in the Irish Daily Mirror, the mum of backpacker Danielle McLaughlin has spoken of her relief that the man accused of her murder was too sick to take up bail to attend his sister's wedding. And you can just imagine and sense the emotional roller coaster that this family are going through, learning that someone, now let's not forget, Danielle will never attend a wedding again. Because her life was taken from her. But you're sitting over in Ireland and over in India, they're going, right, he can leave to go to his sister's wedding. And then, he's too sick to go to his sister's wedding. It's just the range of emotions. It's so difficult for the family, I'm sure. Danielle, 28, from Buncrana, was found dead in a secluded spot in Goa in India. Is popular with holidaymakers, of course. The night before, Danielle had attended a holy party near Kankona Beach in the south of Goa. She'd been raped and murdered. Vikat Bhagat has been charged with her rape and murder and has pleaded not guilty. Last Thursday, Bhagat made an application to the High Court in Goa for temporary bail to go to his sister's wedding last Saturday. He was granted bail, leaving Danielle's mum, Andrea, of course, and family heartbroken. Now, the paper reveals that Bhagat did not take up the bail because he was too sick. Again, it's just the ups and downs and ins and outs and the emotional pulls one way or another. 086 60 25,000. Just a quick reminder there for you of what the WhatsApp and text number is. We're back with loads more on the 9 till noon show after we take a quick break.
The newspapers are courtesy of Kelly Centra Mountaintop Letterkenny, the C-Store National Large Forecourt of the Year for 2022.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
Virgin Media customers make the right call with exclusive offers on mobile. Like our unlimited multi-SIM plan for just €15 a month per person. And enjoy 99% coverage on a 30-day contract. Switch in-store or at virginmedia.ie. Virgin Media, it's playtime.
Customer unlimited multi-SIM €15 per person while Virgin Media broadband and/or TV is active. Applies to 2 to 6 mobile subscriptions. For T's and C's, see virginmobile.ie.
Are the signs of aging creeping up on you? Are you not happy with the way you look or feel? At Letterkenny Medics Private Clinic, we're here to help you, offering Botox anti-wrinkle injections, derma fillers, skin bio injections, Botox treatment for grinding and clenching teeth, hyperhidrosis that aids excessive sweating. Let our doctors help bring back your confidence and look after what is important to you. To see what real results really look like, book your immediate appointment with no waiting times at letterkennymedics.ie. Letterkenny Medics, we listen if you want to talk.
Are you building, rebuilding or renovating? What heat pumps or solar panels would suit your build? Come along and speak to the experts, Efficient Renewables on heat pumps and solar panels. Get advice on installation and grants available. Visit the Efficient Renewables showroom in Newton Cunningham and see these products in operation for yourself. How
How would you like to go on the holiday of a lifetime? Then why not join us for the Highland Radio Hoolie in sunny Salou? Spend 7 nights in the sun with some of Ireland's top entertainers, including Robert Mazzell, Jim Devine, Margot, Claudia Buckley, and many more, with live music all day, every day. Staying in the beautiful 4-star Sol Costa Jurata Hotel, this is a trip not to be missed. Book now by calling Country Music Tours on 074 9119 955 or email info@countrymusictours.ie. We'll see you in sunny Salou.
Right, so one of the big stories locally last week was the removal of physiotherapy services from St. Joseph's Hospital. That's what was announced early in the week. We'd got contact from some concerned people, of course, made the inquiries. We were able to reveal this information. The information was given at very short notice, and we were told in a press release that these services would be provided from Lifford and Donegal Town, dependent on where you are based. Then concerns was raised by local GP Dr. Dennis McCauley on this programme. He said that if physiotherapy services were not available for patients in the hospital, then he couldn't see it functioning on a safe step-down option from the LUH. And the HSC had said they were trying to find another venue in the Finn Valley area to operate these services. But Dr. McCauley said that unless they're actually on site, then St. Joseph's couldn't be seen as a safe step down, not somewhere he could refer one of his patients to. Well, then, towards the end of the week, the HSE said physiotherapies are still being provided for patients at St. Joseph's Hospital, and the facility can still accept discharges from Letterkenny University Hospital. So it's all very confusing. Like, we still don't know, and we're having to, it's like being a dentist, dragging information one bit at a time out of the mouth of the HSE. The question is, where in St. Joseph's will these services happen? Is it in a ward or is it in a department? And there's no community services either, right? So what's the story with waiting lists and what have you? So there's lots and lots of questions. And this is what happens when information is dripped out and you have to try and drag it out. Because all we want is very clear information for the staff, for the patients, for the families of the patients, and what have you. Father Lorcan Sharkey is a committee member of the Save Our St. Joseph's campaign. Father Lorcan, thank you very much for your time today.
Good morning to you, Greg.
Right, have you been able to make any further sense from what the HSE have been saying over the last week, or are you, like me, still very much confused as to what is actually happening and what the implications of it might be?
Well, it seems to be very vague, really, to be truthful with you. The statement that we heard, what their services were being taken away from St. Joseph's Hospital and being transferred to Donegal Town and then to Lifford, and then the HSE then say that the services are still going to be provided. How can that possibly be? We cannot have two situations. Obviously, the physiotherapists who are working there, and they're excellent. I had to avail of their services a few years ago myself to help with a problem that I had with the knee, and they were excellent at their work and so on. And if the premises that they were using needs to be upgraded to HICWA standards, that's fine. That should happen. But surely within the building itself that is already there are many offices in the building now that used to at one time be an integral part of the St. Joseph's Community Hospital, but they were taken over by the HSE some years ago and redeveloped into offices and so on. And I see the HSE as being very vague, really, in their statements and not fair to us in that way, because we have been fighting for some years now to retain St. Joseph's Hospital as a very, very important part of our community. And at the moment, it seems to me that bit by bit, the services that are in St. Joseph's Hospital, making it an integral part of our community,
and
are
the thing
being taken away.
Yeah, and Father Sharkey, too, what confuses me is every time we make an inquiry, the HSC statement gets a little bit longer. if you know what I mean. And the latest thing they've added onto it, everything else remains the same. In order to complete these works, there was a requirement for patients to be relocated within the hospital. The most suitable area identified was the primary care physiotherapy department, known as the Drogheda Ward. So this ensures existing patients in the hospital are catered for and will not be disturbed by the works. In addition, it ensures that bed numbers can be retained. But then it does talk of moving primary care physiotherapy services to Donegal Town and Lifford. And then it says further down, this is the bit that's been added on, physiotherapy services will continue to be provided by the hospital. Now, there are two issues here. We know Lifford and Donegal Town are already wedged in terms of being able to take any additional capacity, but it still remains a little bit confusing. And this is a fact, we spoke to a couple of GPs, Father. They actually still don't really fully know what the situation is as it pertains to St. Joseph's being a step-down facility for their patients. They still haven't actually received that information from the HSE. So we're kind of, trying to work this out on crumbs of information.
Yes. And as a committee, we're in the same situation. We had a meeting on Saturday morning in the parish centre in Stranraer about it, and we were informed of that our Minister, Charlie McConnell-Oak, wishes to set up a meeting between our committee and members of the HSE who are in control of the services in our northwest area. And we're waiting for confirmation then from that when that meeting is going to be. And when we have confirmation about that, we're going to get together as a committee again and decide what specific questions we have to ask the HSE, because we are very confused. I mean, at the moment, the hospital functions as a respite place where quite a number of people are staying there, some of them from my own parish, and I'm in Glenfin. And in fact, only just 1 week ago, tonight, I visited a person from my parish there, and then it acts also as a step down from people who have been in Letterkenny Hospital and are not ready yet to go home. It's an excellent facility for them as well. But gradually, the number of beds available in St. Joseph's Hospital are being reduced, and other services are taken away as well. For instance, the dentistry, which used to be an integral part of it as well as was available, was taken away. And then the day hospital was taken away as well, which served the elderly people who would come in for a few hours, a couple of days a week. That was taken away. So bit by bit, the HSE are reducing St. Joseph's Hospital. And it seems to me that it's very unfair to the whole area of the Finn Valley that has been done. And they're doing it stealthily, really.
Yes, well, that's what we're trying to avoid happening, isn't it, by speaking about it publicly. Father Lorcan Sharkey, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Committee member of the Save or St. Joseph's Hospital. John Gallagher is chair of the Save the St. Joseph's Hospital campaign. John, thank you for your time as well this morning.
Thank you, Greg.
John, what it appears to me, and then I'm really interested in you expanding on your views, I think whoever was charged with delivering this information to begin with actually hadn't got the right information. Or what's happening is the HSC now are seeing that there's a big backlash on this and struggling to try and come up with something that's palatable to the likes of your committee and other. Either way, though, this has been handled disastrously, I would say, because we're all confused. Some of us are concerned, others might feel reassured. But when we've got top GPs who still don't know what's going on, and their patients are the ones here that we're talking about, it's a serious concern, John.
Well, it was seen as a decision that was done in a hurry, and I would say, quite frankly, that the second point that you made there, that it's because of the backlash now, they're trying to put a bit more polish on it. But this, I suppose, goes back, what the committee would be afraid of. This goes back to January 2016, when at the time the Minister was charged of elderly people, was Kathleen Lynch, and she issued a statement at that time that there was a new hospital going to be built in Letterkenny, that St Joseph's Hospital, Lifford Hospital and Remelton Hospital would be closing as a result of that. And it seems that actual statement has never been altered or retracted. And what we have seen in St Joseph's is really death by 1,000 cuts sort of sense. And even though at all the time the HSE say they're committed to maintaining St Joseph, but the question is, what is their vision for the facility? We in the Finn Valley see it as an important facility for the care of elderly people in the Finn Valley. Now, at the moment, most people will tell you that an elderly person in the Finn Valley, it's nearly impossible for them to get into St Joseph. At the moment, even it is difficult to get in for respite into St Joseph. So it's been used entirely as a step down for Letterkenny Hospital. And I don't think that is not our view how the hospital facilities should be used. I think it should be just a very important part of community care. I think elderly people should be looked after in their own community, among their own peers, and they'll be much better off that way. And from time to time, the HSE issue these statements and say they're committed, but that's very fine to a point. But there's a very huge variance between what the state and what they do in practice. And as Father Larkin had actually said there, we have these cuts. We have the dental service. We cut the day care centre being done away with, and now the physiotherapy done away with. And, it's very difficult to believe that this had to happen so quickly. I know somebody who was in there this day week for physio, and they were given an appointment for the 5th of March again. Now, as it turned out, that evening the news came out that the place was closed. The staff didn't seem to know. Now, to blame HICWA for the thing, and that there's a room in St Joseph's that actually needed attention. But the last HICWA report that's on record is actually filed last October, and that HICWA report actually says that St Joseph's, and I quote, was substantially compliant. Now, if it was substantially compliant, I don't think there was anything that was a huge emergency arose in the meantime that would require just the physiotherapist section to be closed down and people moved out in a hurry. I think it should have been planned. I think there was time there to look for a different facility. The first question you'd have to ask, was it actually necessary at all to move the physio? Was there, as Father Larkin says, there might have been office space there that could be much easier to use? Then was there another place in the Finn Valley on a temporary basis that could be used for this purpose? There are numerous buildings in the Balbaface and Orler area which would be open, which could possibly be used for physio for a short time. So it was very difficult to believe that this huge emergency came, the staff didn't know about, and within 4 days that they were basically gone. And we need to find out exactly what the plans are for St Joseph's in the building itself. What is the plans for physiotherapy services in the Twin Town area? And is there a plan to restore day services for the elderly at St Joseph's? The whole thing seems to be crazy. We're starting now to think we have a government who tells us that we should be doing less driving. In fact, they're going to spend $9 billion on a new rail system in Dublin to try to get people out of cars. Well, up here in Donegal, they're making decisions that require staff and hundreds of patients to increase their journeys by over 30 miles to get treatment. They're bringing basically the mountain to Muhammad rather than the other way about. And we just need to have a meeting with the management of the HSE to see what their plans are.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be an upfront one, because the as I said to Father Lorcan, the statements are changing every single time we ask them further questions. They're saying that because of a HICWA inspection, essential fire upgrades work were identified that needed to be completed within a specified time frame. So, like, is it did HICWA say you need to close this down straight away, or did they have a date in towards the end of February and just didn't bother telling anyone, and someone said, oh my word, we need to work on this HICWA stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like, even in that one statement, there needs some clarity here. What's the urgency of this time frame now all of a sudden?
Well, this is the point. You know, the last HICWA report that's actually on file was filed last October, and as I said, it said that St. Joseph's was substantially compliant. Now, if they knew that a room had to be done up, or say last October, then that was the time to start planning. Where was this physio therapy was going to be delivered? Was there another place in the building? It seemed to be a drastic step just to close down a place where hundreds of people are getting treatment and tell them to move off for either to Lifford or to Donegal town. Either journey is going to be a round journey of over 30 miles. Like, it defies logic what they actually have done.
Yeah.
Maybe it had to be done by end of February, but October was the time to plan. October was the time to let out the news. It had to be done, and we should have been a time a limit put on it as well, that it'd be closed for a certain length of time, and that this work would take X number of weeks.
In that report you quote, John, the dates. It's not like I have August. I'm not sure if there was a subsequent one in October, but anyway, the August one's on the HICWA site. But they do talk of fire, and they say although the provider had measures in place to protect residents from the risk of fire, the inspection found deficits in fire safety equipment, oversight procedures, and the emergency evacuation drill records. The provider representative committed to addressing these findings without delay. The inspector's findings are discussed under Regulation 28 Fire Precautions. I don't really see anything. I don't see anything really that talks to the need to do the type of work that they're talking about now. As I say, maybe I'm missing something.
Well, even I don't know. The report that I'm talking about didn't mention that either. But if it did occur, if work has to be done, then it has to be done, and we understand that. But it should be notified well in advance to staff, well in advance to people who are attending physiotherapy there, and we should be looking at an alternative building long ago for it, rather than sending people off 30 miles. You know, there's a lot of these people.
Also, by the way, just to be very clear about that 30 miles, John, we spoke to Dr. Dennis McCauley last week, who says this throws this whole area into disarray because there isn't the capacity in Donegal town or Lifford to deal with that workload. So, you know, it's not just about the travel. It's about if you can actually get the services in a timely fashion.
Yeah, and the other thing is to say that it's going to continue in the hospital. Now, my understanding, I'm no medic, but my understanding is that if you have physio treatment in the building itself, that you have to have at least 3 people there, that in many cases there are people who are not able to stand up, do different things, so you need maybe the physio and 2 assistants to be with them.
Well, we don't even know. What's not clear from the HSE is whether they're saying these services will be provided in the hospital. Is it in a particular ward, on the ward? Is it in a department? You know, like, again, we're going to have to go back and we're going to probably get another statement, but no one's available to answer some very, very basic questions, John, and I think an awful lot of this could be cleared up with an interview, you know?
Oh, yeah, I think really if they made one just clear statement and tell us exactly what was actually happening. But what is happening is really we're getting drips of information out. We're getting drips as to, first of all, it's just there was no information at all. It was just closing, full stop. Then all of a sudden it was closing on a temporary basis, and the statement that they issued didn't actually say that it was the service was coming back to St. Joseph's. They said that the service would be coming back to the Finn Valley or the Twin Town areas. So they didn't actually say that it was coming back to where it had been, in which case I don't understand why that would be the case, because if the ward is fixed, that it needs the attention, you'd imagine the patients would be taken out of the room the physios in, and that the physios would return there. But that statement didn't actually make that clear.
No.
So we just want to find out and see what the situation is.
Just to reference that, the HSE wishes to confirm that as part of its overall service delivery plan and in the best interest for service users in the longer term, primary care services, including physiotherapy services, will be provided from Finn Valley area in accordance with patients' needs. It doesn't state that they will be returned to the hospital. It is quite ambiguous, and perhaps purposely so. They're trying to find somewhere in the Finn Valley. Is it the hospital? They would have said, we hope to have these services returned to St. Joseph's Hospital as soon as the works is complete or are complete. That's not in the statement. And if they're not in the hospital, it does make discharging to that hospital complicated, John, because I think they're purposely trying to confuse us. But anyway, John, we're going to seek more answers, and we appreciate your time, Father Lorcan's time. And as I say, we're going to try and get to the bottom of this, as is your campaign group as well. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Take care, John. Bye-bye.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
A public interest message from Donegal County Council. Householders and building owners in areas susceptible to wildfires are advised to cut back or remove any vegetation or other combustible material in the vicinity of their house, building or oil tank to prevent wildfires damaging or destroying their property. Cleared areas should be maintained free of vegetation and combustible material. Donegal County Council would also like to remind landowners and members of the public that under the Wildlife Acts 1976 and 2000, it's an offence to cut, grub, burn or otherwise destroy any vegetation growing on any land not then cultivated between the 1st day of March and the 31st day of August in any year. Landowners are also reminded that the burning of agricultural waste at any time of the year is an offence under the Waste Management Regulations 2022. Donegal County Council, protecting your environment.
Feast on the best of Ireland with Dunnes Stores. Enjoy Board Bia quality assured meat, like a 1.8 kilo ham fillet, now 20% off, with fresh vegetables like green cabbage, just 49 cent. Fresh fish caught daily on our shores, like organic Irish mussels, and local top quality cheeses, now 3 for 2 at Dunnes Stores. Plus, you can save at the till with our 10 off 50 grocery voucher. Dunnes Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used in next grocery shop of €50 or more.
Hi folks, Paul McDevitt here, inviting you to join myself and Jimmy Stafford this Monday night for another edition of the Monday Night Sessions. On the show this week, it's an all-Derry lineup with singer-songwriter Declan McLaughlin. He'll be joining us for a chat on a few tunes. 5-piece rock band The Mara will also be popping by, and we also welcome back the brilliant singer-songwriter and poet Danny McGilloway. So that's the Monday Night Sessions this Monday night between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. right here on Highland Radio.
Now, we're joined on the programme by Fiona McCausland, Director of the Family Mediation Services. Good morning, Fiona. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning. You are most welcome.
Right. The Legal Aid Board's Family Mediation Service has launched a new callback service aimed at making free mediation more accessible to families. Mediation, talking things through, especially with the third party present, it's always the best way, isn't it? And I'll tell you, Fiona, we have a legal section on the show, you know, where we have a local solicitor that comes on and answers legal questions. A lot of them are relating to family issues. And the first advice always is, look, if you can talk about it, that's best for everyone, especially if there's children involved and what have you. So talk to us about this new service and what you see its importance as.
Okay. Well, first of all, the Family Mediation Service at the Legal Aid Board there has an office in Letterkenny. So the good news is that there's a local service there that people can access, and it's on the 3rd floor in Lynn House in Letterkenny. And the idea of this callback facility is really to make us more accessible to the public, because, as you say, mediation is the room to be in to negotiate and sort out your future plans. And we just want to make sure that people can find us. So if you go to www.legalaidboard.ie, you can put in your contact details there any 24 hours, 7 days a week, and we will give you a phone back during office hours. You can also phone our local office in Letterkenny during office hours. But the idea of the callback is to just open the doors a little bit wider for everybody.
And how does mediation work, or what's the setup, or is it in a room, is it on a Zoom, or what's the story?
So it is room-based. So maybe if I just say that for the first piece is that when you get in touch with us, you will have a one-to-one with the mediator. So you're not suddenly finding yourself coming into the room with the other person straight away. So you get meeting your mediator, and that is room-based. We do facilitate through online mediation and phone-based mediation. I mean, that started during the COVID years, and we've kept that as part of how we work because, as I say, it's all about accessibility. But really, the room is the place to be. You meet with your mediator, the other person meets with the mediator, and then you both come in, you sit down, you sign your agreement to mediate. And after that, it's however many sessions, always free, that you need to work with the mediator. And we've quite a structured process. So, we know this terrain well, and we know how to set up the negotiations, keep you safe, keep you productive, and most importantly, move you from maybe a time when it feels, God, this is just impossible. How do we sort this out? To, we've done it. We've done the right thing for our family, and we have a future.
This is all well and good if you've got two parties that are prepared to sort of engage.
Yeah.
Right. So do you have any role? So say I came to you and it says, look, I've broke up with my partner. I would like this to be as amicable as is possible.
Yeah.
But how do I get that if they're a little bit reticent or there's no contact or whatever? So how do you get the parties into the room?
Okay, so that's really the skill of the mediator, and also the trust. That's why you meet with the mediator one-on-one first. And if you think of any type of dispute or conflict or disagreement, we always start in a place where we don't want to have to talk to the other person. Otherwise, we'd sort it out ourselves, So the first thing you do is you meet with the mediator, and Emer there in Letterkenny, she's very, very experienced. You build your trust with her, and then the other person does the same. So you're really working with the mediator first, even though all three of you may be in the same room. And the expertise there of Emer is to listen and hear what is it that's really at the heart of this. Because, at the end of the day, everything can be worked out. It's a question of how do we get from there to there. And it's a conflict resolution process. So we are the people to talk to if you are finding it difficult. And all that we're doing is putting out a hand and saying, we can help you, trust us, we're experienced, and let us hear what matters to you. And then we help you build the path forward.
And is it often, or what is the pattern? Is it sort of like quite soon after a breakup? Is it maybe after people have been through the courts process, or ahead of that, or where does the mediation work best, or where do we see it most?
Yeah, well, so first of all, people come to us at any stage. And in terms of where we see people coming to our service most, it really is that broad spectrum. It's, I suppose, you get to a moment where you're thinking, what, we really do need to sit down and work this out with somebody who can help us. Where does it work best? We would suggest that come early. As you say, I'm trying to separate. This is difficult. Pick up the phone. We work with solicitors in the sense that most divorces in particular require legal advice. That's absolutely fine. financial advice, that's absolutely fine. We're in the negotiators. We're in the seat to help you negotiate. And what we want is for people to come into the sessions with as much good quality information and advice as possible. So we often will send the people we're working with out to solicitors and to financial experts and so on. And then they come back. And, if it makes the agreement last better and work better, that's good for everybody.
What's the stickiest wicket in mediation?
Well, so I would say in my own experience in mediation, there are two pieces. One, the children are always central. And funnily enough, in a way, they're not the stickiest wicket because parents are parents, and there's lots of different ways we help parents stay parents, regardless of the separation. The stickiest wicket is often the family home.
Right.
It's the biggest thing in terms of the decision. And also, are you keeping it? Are you selling it? Are you moving out? You stick. There's a little bit of an element of a binary quality about it. And do you know one of the things I really learned first when I was working in family mediation was there's a pot of money and there's a home, and it's going to have to work somehow or other. So, Mary and Johnny fighting over the family home doesn't make another house appear. And at the heart of that, it's very, very hard for somebody to move out a home they've been in for 20 years. So there's a kind of combination there, and that can be very sticky.
Because fundamentally, there's an emotional element to it. There's an emotional attachment.
Totally.
There's some people that think, well, if I can kind of stick with some ownership of the home, maybe we can get back together or whatever. We're so blooming complex, aren't we, as humans?
Yeah, I know, absolutely. And I mean, how many of us think of our home in terms of finance? We don't. Our home place that we've built together, you've put the shelves up, you've done the garden, whatever it is. And, something that is particularly hard if you are the one that wants to stay in the marriage and you find you're the one that's having to leave the home, that's unbearable. That is so hard. And I think if I was to say a core piece of what we do is show compassion. We show compassion for people in these situations, but we still ask them to step up to make the difficult decisions. So the wicket is sticky and it's got to be worked out.
Yeah, and the statistics show, unfortunately, there is an increase in divorce, in relationship breakup, or we're getting better at sort of identifying, and I'm not really quite sure if we're all just splitting up more or if we're just collating the information just better. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's a really interesting point you're making there, in that I think we are collating better. I think that for sure that's there. But I also think that as a society, we are more supportive of allowing families to separate if they're miserable in the one house. You know what I mean? I've never believed that this generation or the next generation are unhappier at marriage. I think what's happened is that we've moved to a place in society where, look, if this is really not working, I mean, kids are in the middle of whatever, in the middle of a house, then look at this and make a decision.
I think the only thing is that unmeasurable is the thing that might change over time is if we are a bit more transient and, maybe we don't try as hard to make things work, I think any of us with older generation parents, we can remember them, arguing like cats and dogs, and you think that's it, but they find a way, whereas I think maybe nowadays people say, right, I'm on to option B or something. But anyway, it's always good. Go ahead. Sorry, Fiona.
No, I'm just going to say that's something that's often said. And I've been working in this field for 24, 25 years. I've never been in a room with a couple that got there easily.
No,
if we still fall in love, we still want it to work, and we're still brokenhearted when it doesn't work. And I think that is at the heart of it. And I get it. I understand why, my own parents, might say the same, but we still want marriage to work. I see that, and it's heartbreaking when it doesn't.
Okay, listen, a amicable through a very tough time, and amicable breakup's always better for both parties, especially if there's children there as well. The Legal Aid Board's family mediation services, they're available to you, and they've launched a new callback service aimed at making free mediation more accessible to families. And just remind us once again, if you don't mind, Fiona, how people can sign up or register or whatever the phraseology might be.
So they can go on to www.legalaidboard.ie and put in their details, and the family mediation service at the Legal Aid Board will phone you back. And we have an office there in Letterkenny for anybody who wants to call in there as well.
Thank you very much. It's been a really interesting conversation. Take care of yourself, Fiona. That's Fiona McCausland there. We'll be back with the weather and news of a great competition we've got running for you this week.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
With a high digital online skills course, you'll feel a real difference.
I can listen to all the music I like. The WhatsApp that's coming out, and it's brilliant.
Anything you want to know, it's at their fingertips.
They're small things, but they mean something.
Learn essential online skills with simple, accessible lessons at highdigital.ie or free phone 1800 20 30 30. Brought to you by Vodafone Foundation and Alone. Vodafone. Together we can.
There's bingo every Monday night at Halfway House Burnfoot. Doors open 7:30 with eyes down at 8:30. €2,500 must go. The snowball is now €1,050 on 45 numbers or less. If you're not in, you can't win. That's Halfway House Bingo tonight at 8:30.
We're driving the Citroën C4X on Dublin's most speed-bumped road, as voted by an online poll, to test Citroën's progressive hydraulic cushion suspension. The music is coming from a vinyl record playing on a record player set up in the back seat. Here comes a speed bump. Let's see if this record skips. Perfect. Went off without a scratch.
Book a test glide in a Citroën today. Visit citroen.ie.
This leap day, some things are absolutely guaranteed. Like boyfriends mysteriously going AWOL for the day. And 84-year-olds having 21st birthday parties. But another guarantee this leap day, and only in Ireland, is that one Eurodreams player will win €2,000 every month for the next 5 years. That's €2,000 a month for 5 years. Guaranteed. But only if you play Eurodreams on the 29th of February. The National Lottery. It could be you. Play responsibly, play for fun.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by Grant. Building a new home? Choose Grant's A++ rated Airona air-to-water heat pump and Uflex underfloor heating. Visit grant.ie.
All right, weather-wise, it felt like a really nice weekend out there. A bit chilly, but nice and bright and calm. I hope it was the same way you were. Let's have a look at that weather forecast, though, for going forward. Dry and bright today with long spells of sunshine as patchy frost clears. Scattered cloud will develop during the afternoon, but staying dry overall. Feeling cool with highest temperatures of just around 6 to 8 degrees in moderate northerly breezes. Now, this week on the show, thanks to our friends at Fundamania Fairground, coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl in Derry, Londonderry, from the 1st of March till the 17th of March, we're giving you the chance to win incredible family passes for a day of unlimited fun and excitement. We're giving away 2 passes every day this week. To be in with the chance of winning this fantastic prize today, simply answer this question. So I'm going to give you a couple of clues to a town in Donegal, okay? So I want to know, or I want you to tell me what town we are talking about. Now, here are the clues. It's a festival town. Mary is from here. Water's Fort. There are your 3 clues as to what town in Donegal we're talking about. Mary is from here. Water's Fort. It's a festival town. What town am I talking about there? Now, text your answer, your name and where you're from, or WhatsApp to 086 60 25,000. So what town am I talking about? Mary's from here, Watersford. It's a festival town, and one of you today will win a fantastic day pass for Fundamania Fairground, which is coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl in Derry from the 1st of March until the 17th of March. Okay, we'll be back with more on the 9 till noon show after. That's a free to text in number, by the way, 086 60 25,000. The answer, your name, where you're from. We'll be back with more after the news and obituary notices.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
Well, Grace, how are you today?
I'm good. I've just been down to the Made to Measure Fireplaces showroom in Creasla. They have an incredible selection of over 40 colours for kitchen worktops. And guess what? For a limited time, they're offering a 40% discount on any electric fire when you purchase a worktop there.
40%? That's an amazing deal, Grace.
Absolutely. And trust me, if the discount alone doesn't sway you, their huge selection of fireplaces, stoves, wood pellet burners, beams and stone cladding certainly will.
Contact Made to Measure Fireplaces Creasla on 074 91 38 365 on Facebook, Instagram and on ntmfireplaces.ie.
For all your training needs, Northwest Forest Services Training Department Ballybuffet offer a wide range of training courses from training bodies such as NPTC City and Guilds, QQI Lantra and ABA International. They also now do quad courses in line with the new guidelines and regulations for all quad users. If you have a group, they can come to you. For a full list of training courses and availability, contact Northwest Forest Service Ballybuffet on 074 913233.
Announcing the spectacular Doors and Floors 2-day sale event at Donegal Town Hardware. Enjoy massive discounts on floors, doors, handles, locks, skirting and more. Expert staff will be on hand to answer all your queries. That's the massive Doors and Floors sale event happening for 2 days only, this Friday 1st and Saturday 2nd of March at Donegal Town Hardware.
Your smartphone is a wonderful tool, opening amazing ways to connect with friends, family and even businesses all over Ireland and across the world. Whether it's chatting to your family and friends on WhatsApp, grabbing a bargain by safely online shopping, or even doing all your daily banking needs through an app, your phone or tablet can help you do it all. If you wanted to learn how to use all these features on your device, now you can with High Digital, a free online skills course designed with older people in mind, available in person and online. So if you're ready to unlock your smartphone's potential or know someone who's always wanted to learn more online skills, go to highdigital.ie or call 1800 20 30 30 for more information. Brought to you by Vodafone Foundation and Alone.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donal Kavanagh at the news desk. Ahead of the upcoming local elections, Defective block campaigners are urging affected homeowners to have their say on what a true 100% redress scheme is. A meeting is taking place on tonight week, Monday, March 4th at 7 in Grianan Hotel Burt, where a document articulating the key principles of a 100% redress scheme will be presented. The 100% Redress, Micah Action and Redress focus groups believe the 4 key principles to be property, process, people and support and prevention. Chairperson of the Micah Action Group, Lisa Hone, believes the document will be influential when it comes to people deciding how they'll vote.
That document is going to go to every single political party and every single politician in the country for a response. And that will very, very clearly set out to the electorate in terms of how they see this, where their priorities are, and whether they have any intention whatsoever of coming anywhere near what we define as a true 100% scheme.
Another crash on what's become a very busy road outside Letterkenny has led to renewed calls for safety measures to be implemented. A woman was injured as a result of a crash on the Ran Road at the Listac Junction over the weekend. Donegal Aintree representative Mary T. Sweeney says the route has become extremely dangerous and she believes signage must be erected as a matter of urgency.
I would like to see stop signs, yield signs. Before we move into the summer season, especially with visitors and tourists, we need to just take stock of all these signs that either need replaced, upgraded, or basically some of them just need washed. They're quite difficult to read, and to make it safer roads for everybody.
Fresh pay offers mean Northern Ireland's health and public transport workers might not be going back to the picket lines. A 3-day strike involving bus and train drivers this week has been called off after a new proposal from TransLink. Meanwhile, a new settlement for health workers would bring their pay into line with England and also include a lump sum worth around €1,800. Trade unions are now taking the offers back to their members for votes. Robin Swan is the North's Health Minister.
I said on taking office that my first priority was to get these pay settlements over the line for staff. This is a positive step in that direction, and I commend the constructive negotiations that have taken place.
Uisce Éireann are investigating reports of supply disruptions, investigating water taps in Kindrum and surrounding areas of Fanad. They say there'll be more information to follow. No projected date as to when the issue is going to be resolved yet. A woman's been arrested after a car was discovered on its roof in the Ernie Road area of Strabane last evening. Police attended the scene just before 8. The 30-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of driving with excess alcohol. There were no other vehicles involved and no reports of any injuries. Labour is accusing the government of leaving the country without proper policing. Over 6,400 Gardaí are set to retire in the next 4 years. The party says there's been a consistent and persistent drop in Garda numbers under Fine Gael's watch. Labour's Justice spokesperson Éan O'Riordan says the Justice Minister must take steps to tackle low morale.
I think the government need to recognise the problem first of all. They need to acknowledge that we have a morale problem in Garda Síochána. They need to realise that over the next 4 years we could have 6,000 Gardaí leaving the force, that people are resigning in record numbers, unprecedented numbers, and that not enough people are joining. If you recognise the problem of the morale within the Garda Síochána, you have half a chance of actually trying to do something to solve it. But the Minister doesn't even seem to recognise the difficulty that the Garda Síochána are having.
And groups and organisations in Donegal are being invited to apply to the Heritage Council's Community Heritage Grant Scheme. Last year, 13 Donegal-based projects were funded through the scheme. With more detail, here's Michaela Clark.
Grants of between €500 and €25,000 are available for community groups and not-for-profit non-governmental organisations in Donegal under the Heritage Council's Community Heritage Grant Scheme. A broad range of project types are eligible for funding under the scheme, including conservation works, surveys, reports, plans and audits, accessibility projects, projects that help people engage more with their heritage, the purchase of specialised equipment, projects that address the heritage of minority groups, training in traditional skills and crafts, and citizen science projects on environmental conservation. The closing date for applications is Monday, March the 25th at 5 p.m.
Weather forecast dry and bright today with long spells of sunshine as patchy frost clears. Scattered cloud will develop during the afternoon, but it'll stay dry overall. Cool with highest temperatures just around 6 to 8 degrees Celsius in moderate northerly breezes, backing westerly or variable later, and then easing. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with news head again at 11 o'clock. In the interim, of course, check all of today's news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning. The obituary notices for this Monday morning, the 26th of February. The death has taken place of George Thomas Clark, 10 Derg Fold, Castle Derg. House strictly private, please, at his own request. Service of thanksgiving for George's life will be held in Cleator Presbyterian Church tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, followed by committal in the adjoining graveyard. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to Cleator Presbyterian Church, care of Robert Armstrong and Son, funeral directors. The death has occurred of Robert O'Connor, Roxtown, Tubin, Burnfoot, reposing at his home from 11 o'clock this morning. Removal on Wednesday morning at 10:15 to St Mary's Church, Fawn, for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock, followed by interment in the adjoining graveyard. Requiem Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. Family time, please, from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu to the Donegal Hospice, care of any family member or Murphy Funeral Directors. The death has taken place of Jean Wiley, née Steele, formerly of Coshquin Road, Springburn Road and Quigley's Point. Her remains are reposing at her son's home at 3 Deanfield, Limavady Road, Derry. Funeral from there tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 for service in Ballyarnett Presbyterian Church at 1 o'clock. Interment afterwards in Muff Parish Church Burial Ground, County Donegal. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu of flowers if desired to Parkinson's UK Supporter Care Team. The death has taken place of Catherine K. Steele, Cooley, Moville. Remains reposing at her home. Funeral arrangements to be confirmed. Family time, please, from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. Donations in lieu of flowers if desired to ICU ward, Letterkenny University Hospital, care of any family member. The death has taken place of Frank Harkin, formerly of Maharamore and Craigtown, Carndonagh, lately of Ballyargus, Redcastle. Reposing at his partner Anne Murphy's residence, Ballyargus, Redcastle. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:30, going to St Columba's Church, Drung, for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock, followed by cremation at Lakelands Crematorium, Cavan, at 4. The funeral can be viewed live on Church TV. The death has taken place of Anne Conway, née Conwell, 163 Moorlock Road, Dunnamana, reposing at her home. Funeral from there this morning at 10:25 for Requiem Mass in St Patrick's Church, Killeen, Dunnamana at 11, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Donations in lieu of flowers, please, to the Northern Ireland Kidney Research Fund, care of Quigley Funeral Directors, Strabane. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live via the Donaghilly Parish YouTube channel. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
If you're not with Energy, chances are you're paying more than you need to for your electricity. As Ireland's newest energy provider, we offer Ireland's cheapest electricity rate, saving our customers up to €500 per year. So if you want to pay less for energy, simply pay a visit to unoenergy.ie and sign up for big savings with smaller bills. With Energy, you just know. Energy fixed discount rate EAB €1415. For T's and C's and rates, see unoenergy.ie. Suppliers' pricing may change.
And now, IMRO's 2023 Best Local Original News Programme, The Voice of the Northwest, the 9 till noon show, with Greg Hughes.
All right, the HSC unfortunately has again this morning declined to put someone forward to answer a couple of simple questions as it relates to services at St Joseph's Hospital, which is regrettable, but we continue to endeavour on those who are concerned behalf. Some of your comments in relation to that story. If the work in St Joseph's Hospital needs completed, I'd prefer the physio appointments are relocated rather than the patients in the hospital being relocated. Another. Hi, Greg. St Joseph's closing before everyone's eyes. Patients can't get physio for a start when they are not going to be in the building and the equipment all gone. Such a walkover. If people believe councillors and politicians that are misleading them, they knew it was happening and acting now as if they didn't, but they assure me they didn't. Well spoken, Father Lorcan and John. Only for your group and COVID, St Joseph's Community Hospital would have been closed by deceit and by stealth. I hope this becomes a local election issue and that this essential service, as COVID showed, remains for generations. Please note, Charlie McConnell did not save St Joseph's last time with his attitude. Greg, unfortunately, government don't care about Irish people. They just house the rest of the world. By filling our hospitals with foreign nurses and doctors, we're depriving their countries of an adequate health service. We should be paying hospital staff enough so Irish nurses and doctors can afford to stay in Ireland. It's a colonial mindset to want cheap labour. And I put that point actually because it is one I've mused over before, and apparently we are, in some countries, it depends where you're taking the doctors and nurses from, it does deprive that area, but in others they have incredibly good education systems, and there is an excess in those areas. Even if you increase the wages and what have you, there's always going to be Irish staff and Irish nurses that will want to travel the world, and even if they all came back, I read somewhere that wouldn't be enough to meet our needs. They're closing down nursing homes everywhere in the country to house refugees. It's the elephant in the room. Well, there's private nursing homes, people that are in the private nursing home sector. You're quite correct, it is happening. They're saying, right, there's not enough money in nursing homes. We're going to switch our business to housing refugees. There's not an awful lot you can do. I mean, this St. Joseph's is a public building. It's HSE run, but there is no doubt that private nursing homes, that the owners of them, who are, obviously businesses, have closed to patients and opened them up to other residents. There's just no doubt about that. Hi, Greg. Can we get the bosses of the St. Joseph's on your show at present to discuss the issues? They are the people who signed off on and are responsible for these decisions. Well, we've requested them, of course. That would have been one of the first things that we did. It's a total disgrace that St. Joseph's Physio is being closed down. A family member attended recently and received brilliant treatment in a fully modern and fully equipped centre. Ballybofey is a totally forgotten town. The HSC will be happy or won't be happy until the hospital is closed completely. That's according to Anne. All right, okay. Just a quick mention of this competition once again, because it's there's a little bit more detail to it than other competitions. Just to let you know, you'll hear the trails going in and out of ads. This week on the show, thanks to our friends at Fundamania Fairground, coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl in Derry, Londonderry, from the 1st of March till the 17th of April. We're giving you the chance to win incredible family passes for an unlimited fun and excitement. We are giving away 2 passes every day this week. So there's going to be lots of winners, which is exciting. And we just need you to identify this Donegal town off the back of these 3 clues. Mary is from here. The Waters Fort. It's a festival town. Text your answer, your name and where you're from, or WhatsApp to 08660 25,000. Just a bit of information about Fundamania, by the way. Everyone of all ages, get ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime at Fundamania, coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl in Derry from the 1st of March to the 17th of March. You're being told to get ready to be swept away by the greatest fairground extravaganza you'll ever encounter, from heart-pumping roller coasters to adrenaline-pumping bumper cars. They have it all.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Monday, the 26th of February. You're playing on the green sheet. The reference number is S1. It's game number 9. The numbers are 33, 30, 86, 14, 45, 71, 68, 51, 59, and finally 48. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Do you suffer from high cholesterol, menopause symptoms, digestive issues, anxiety, aches and pains, or a lack of energy? The highly trained team at The Natural Way Letterkenny can provide advice on natural remedies for a number of individual health issues. The Natural Way also has its own brand of herbal treatments to help fight fatigue, relieve digestive discomfort, maintain a healthy immune system, and alleviate common menopause symptoms. The Natural Way at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, your one-stop health shop.
Charlie McClafferty Funeral Directors, serving Letterkenny and the surrounding areas for over 100 years. Charlie McClafferty Funeral Directors. Let our family take care of your family and guide you through a difficult time.
Crawford Tiles in Castlefin extends their famous bathroom refits to the entire hospitality sector, transforming 10 bathrooms in just 10 days. Their service include full gutting, replumbing and retiling. Unbelievable prices with hotel recommendations available on request. To inquire, call Crawford Tiles on 07491 43942.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
Now, just to mention, a massive thanksgiving for Bishop Alan McGuckian is to take place this evening in St Eunice Cathedral in Letterkenny. Bishop McGuckian will leave his post as the Bishop of Raphoe after almost 7 years, and the Mass of Thanksgiving will take place at 7 p.m. in St Eunice Cathedral to mark his departure, and is open to everyone. And I'm pleased to say, although not in the context, I have to say, because we've always had a good working relationship with Bishop McGuckian. But anyway, he's coming into studio tomorrow, or at least he's coming on the programme tomorrow for a chat before he departs to become Bishop of the Diocese of Down and Connor. And it's kind of interesting, and I presume this will come up in the conversation tomorrow. It's not that long ago that the Bishop himself had to deliver what was tough news to parishioners and priests, I'm sure, in moving priests from one area to another, and the challenges that creates on a personal level, and as I say, for the congregations and what have you. And now the Bishop himself has found himself being moved by the Pope, and it is part of the life. But we're going to speak to the Bishop about his time here, his reflections on his time here, and his hopes for the future as well. So I'm in looking forward to a conversation tomorrow with Bishop Alan McGuckian. We're joined on the programme now by Curran Maguire, manager of the Columkill Hostel in Letterkenny. Thanks for joining us, Curran. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm good. Curran, for those who may not be aware, what is Columkill Hostel? You know, what kind of services do you provide, and for how many?
We were set up, I suppose, 27 years ago by St Vincent de Paul. They felt that there was a need in Letterkenny at that time. Any people that were homeless in Letterkenny were being taken into Derry, because that's the only place that there was a hostel. And they kind of felt, well, maybe, wouldn't it be nice if we had a hostel of our own? So a group of people from St Vincent de Paul got together and set up the hostel, which has become known as the St Columkill Hostel. And it deals with people that are homeless. And as I say, we cater for single people and for families. And we've been going for that length of time. The whole idea of the hostel, I suppose, is to help people to get their lives back together, give them a help up, and move them into permanent accommodation. And as I say, it has worked quite well down through the years. I suppose when we started up at the beginning, we just basically provided accommodation for people. And we discovered after a short period of time that people needed more than just bricks and mortar around them. They needed a help to actually stay in their home. And so we decided to take on staff that would help people to help them with issues that they had that led to them becoming homeless, I suppose, originally. And through that, then, they were able to rebuild their lives and get back into permanent accommodation and stay in that accommodation.
That's a really important role of it. It's an emergency accommodation. So this is a stopgap. This is people that have found themselves without accommodation. It's a good, safe place where they can get back on their feet, hopefully, and then, as you say, move into their own rental property or whatever it might be. The problem is because of the housing crisis and everything else that's going on, is it getting increasingly difficult to have that, pass through? In other words, it's harder for people who find themselves in your great facility to find alternatives, more long-term solutions.
We're finding now that there's less and less private rented accommodation, because we depended really on the private rented sector to provide accommodation for people to move on. And anything that's there is so expensive that the people can't afford it anymore. And so I suppose we're logjam in that sense, because the people are staying longer and longer now in the hostel because we can't find move-on accommodation. We just can't put somebody out in the street and say, you're here now long enough, you have to move on. When people move on from our hostel, we have to make sure that they have somewhere to move to, And again, as I say, we just find it harder and harder to find. So we work very closely with Donegal County Council and with the approved housing bodies such as Simon and Cluett, and that's where the housing is. And at the moment, there's a shortage all around. So short of building more houses is what we really need, more houses to be built and more housing stock out there so that we can actually move people on. And then we can actually take people...
Kieran, it has to be appropriate accommodation as well, because, there are those that might say, well, we're housing others in hotels, why not move people into hotels? But that's not the type of accommodation we're talking about here. You're talking about homes, a medium to long-term home for someone. The temporary accommodation is what's being provided by you guys at the moment. It's forever homes or long-term homes that we're talking about.
We're talking about people that are on the Donegal housing list, and they're actually looking for their own home, really. I suppose in an ideal world, we would be able to provide them with that permanent accommodation. But in the past, as I say, it's the private sector that has provided a lot of the homes for those people, and we were able to use it. And again, as I say, move a cohort out and then take new people in and do a bit of work with them. And it worked quite well. And it was very successful as far as we were concerned, what we would call success, and then eventually they got onto the council housing list. So as I say, we depend totally now. Anybody that's moving from the hostel at the moment is moving directly into Donegal County Council houses, and whereas that sounds good in itself, but again, as I say, there's a limited supply there. And then again, as I say, anybody now that's on the emergency housing list, I mean, the council's putting them up on bed and breakfast and maybe hotel accommodation, as you say, or other hostels, and it's very expensive and it's really eaten into the housing budget. So again, as I say, how do you get around that without providing more housing stock? So I mean, it's down to the government, I suppose, at the end of the day, to provide more housing stock.
And the problem we have, Kieran, there's an awful lot of competing factors looking for the rental accommodation that's there, and it's limited. We spoke to a lady last week who just wants to be out on her own, but she can't find or afford accommodation. We've got people, and quite a significant amount of people that are exiting hotel accommodation that actually have resources for private rental. I'm thinking, maybe Ukrainian families or what have you. I know personally that is happening. So, maybe they have been able to accrue money, so it makes them very competitive in the private rental market. Then the other people that you deal with, people moving back to Donegal, like there is an awful lot of demand and very, very, very little supply. It's going to take a long time unless there's a real move. It's going to take a long time to sort out, it seems, Kieran.
I would imagine so. Well, I know that the council has a big housing, that they're actually making movement now with building and that, and they have plans to build a good number of houses, both in Letterkenny and surrounding areas. And I mean, that's to be welcomed. But I mean, you're talking about a year or two before a lot of that will come on stream. So again, it's what we do in the meantime, how we will get over the initial people that are there now and need accommodation right here and now. Again, as I say, because there's such a demand and such a little supply, the prices are going up and up all the time. And again, as I say, I don't know how people that are in that rental market, how they afford the prices that are being charged at the moment.
Because they're putting all of the money into it, and that's just it. There's no money left over for anything else. Would you be in favour of, we've seen it elsewhere, but for some reason the government just aren't interested in doing it up here, sort of a modular homing solution? Are we at that point that might be better than what we have at the moment?
I would say it probably is. I know that for single people now, the council's looking at the idea, and they have already piloted a few schemes at the moment where single people are, they're sharing houses together, where they get to rent a room and you put 3 or 4 people in the one house. Again, a lot of study has gone into it, and there's a lot of careful, I suppose, as I say, you just can't put 4 strangers in the house and tell them to get on. You have to think very clearly and carefully about the issues that are involved and who they are, and know a wee bit about their background and that. But again, it seems to be working, in some areas, that some of the pilot schemes that they have tried. So, and again, it's certainly a lot cheaper than bed and breakfast and that. So, but modular homes probably would be a way forward,
Yeah, you've been at this for 27 odd years. Is it as bad as it's ever been?
That's right, yeah. Oh, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, in the past, we've always been able to find homes for people. We've always been able to try. And again, as I say, when people contact me now, we have a list of numbers that we would, because we're full up, we have a list of numbers that we ring around to see, will somebody take somebody? And again, they're getting it to the stage now where they don't have room anymore either, you know. And again, as I say, some of the people that are there, you know, they have their own issues and that, you know. And again, as I say, that's a problem in itself, you know.
Yeah, because what's often not talked about the homelessness situation, and we'll talk about it on a national level, it's often not just simply a house or accommodation. There's other maybe wraparound services that are needed also.
That's it, yeah. And I mean, like, that's part of what we provide, you know. And again, as I say, that we would work with. And again, as I say, if we can't provide it on site, then we can refer them into different agencies and that to get the help that they need, so that at least when they move on from their accommodation into permanent accommodation, that the issues that has led to them becoming homeless, you know, that they have been tackled in some form, and they're on a road to a recovery or whatever, you know. So again, and from that point of view, it would be great to have just somewhere to move them to that would be permanent for them, you know. And again, short of having more housing stock, I mean, that's where we're at now, you know. So again, it's down to government and government measures, and it needs to be a lot of resources put into this, you know.
So your capacity now, I mean, is anything coming up, or is it almost at a standstill in terms of throughput?
Well, as I said, the council has have plans at the moment for a number of sites in Letterkenny to develop. But again, as I say, you're probably talking about a couple of years before they'll actually come on stream. And I mean, they had council houses were probably built there last year. But again, with Micah and people having to move out of their homes, like a lot, it made very little impact really, I suppose, on what few council houses were available. The people had to move out of their homes because of a Micah or whatever. And they took up a lot of those, and as a result, it made very little to the numbers that are on the waiting list there on Donegal County Council.
All right, Kieran, listen.
And I mean, I find the council does great work with the resources that they have, you know.
Yep. Kieran, listen, thank you for the insight. I really appreciate it. Kieran Maguire, who's manager of the Columkill Hostel in Letterkenny, he's never seen anything like it in 27 years for all the reasons that were outlined there. 086 60 25,000 if you want to talk about that. St. Joseph says the listener was meant to be one-stop shop for the elderly when the Sean O'Hare unit moved. Another, why can't physiotherapy be located at primary care centres? HIQA fire requirements are easily fixed. This is closure of our excellent local hospital by stealth. Move the offices, not the physio, and day hospital services that need to be reinstated too. Another, HIQA can also can use the excuse that a building doesn't conform to safety standards as an excuse to close the building down and remove the service. The same reason was used to withdraw services from other institutions and close them down permanently. But you know, at the end of the day, like, HIQA is there to make sure our family and we are safe and sound. I often think maybe sometimes it's what's done with that information that might be a problem. Right, we have to take a very short break. Back with our next guest after these.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
If you're into makeup, then you'll want to know that Longcom's elite makeup artist Lorraine Byrne will hold a makeup and skincare masterclass at McGee's Chemist Thursday 7th of March at 7 p.m. With refreshments, giveaways and prizes on the night, it promises to be a really enjoyable experience. Tickets just €25, redeemable against any Longcom purchase on the night. Places limited, booking essential. Call McGee's Chemist on 07491 21409 or call in store to guarantee your VIP place.
Keep out the cold, cold, cold and ring Fleming for their full range of garage doors, agri doors, insulated doors, milking parlour doors. Fleming, 91 48 234.
House to Home Bridgend, Donegal. Our modest front door opens onto 2 floors of Irish-made furniture, suites, beds, mattresses, dining and occasional furniture. Step into our showroom and see how we can transform your house into a home. House to Home furniture, flooring, slide robes and interiors, Bridgend, Donegal.
SEAI is delighted to announce the return of the Zevi EV Dealership of the Year Awards. And this year's Ulster winner is Connolly's Volkswagen, Letterkenny. To learn more about the awards and EV grants, visit seai.ie, supported by the Government of Ireland.
Donegal ETB's Further Education and Training Fair is on this Wednesday and Thursday in the Radisson Blue Hotel, Letterkenny. Wednesday evening from 7 to 9 is aimed at Leaving Cert students, their parents and those in employment looking to upskill, with talks on courses and apprenticeships. Thursday the 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is for anyone interested in full and part-time education or training opportunities. This free event is perfect for finding out about the various options offered by Donegal Education and Training Board across the county.
Okay, we're joined by 2 guests in studio now. Andrea McFeely, Clinical Lead and Coordinator of DS Champions Programme at No Barriers. Good morning to you, Andrea.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Thank you so much for calling in. I'm doing good. And also David Hone, Activities Lead on the DS Champion. Good morning, David. So first we might start with you, Andrea, and just tell us a little bit about, I suppose, No Barriers, the programme, or whatever you think might be useful for us to learn.
So thanks very much for having us on today, Greg. We're really delighted to be here. Well, No Barriers stands for breaking down barriers in our communities and educating our societies regarding people with challenges in their function. We are really passionate about supporting people within physical activities, exercise, and again, community inclusion. So it's really important to us that we can bring everybody together, both within No Barriers and in our local communities, to participate in activities that are really meaningful to them.
And what type of people take part in the DS Champions programme?
Well, the DS Champions programme is a 6-week health and wellbeing programme. It's been created in conjunction with people with Down syndrome. So primarily you have a diagnosis with Down syndrome. The programme itself, Greg, has been designed and co-created with and for people with Down syndrome. We also have a therapy-led and therapy-informed content within the programme, which has been supported by occupational therapists, physiotherapists, speech and language therapists. We have a nutritionist and a cognitive behavioural therapist who has a background in psychology as well. We also have very experienced strength and conditioning coaches and an activities team involved in designing and developing the programme.
David, talk to us about your role in this.
Yeah, some of the physical activities lead. So the programme runs Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. So Tuesday morning we come in and we get all the team together and we'll sit down with everybody and just do like a question of the day, just to get everyone kind of relaxed and see how the weekend went and stuff. And then we go straight into our warm-up and then we start our exercise class, which has been designed by S&C coaches and physios and OTs and speech and language as well. So we'll do an hour of exercise-based stuff and then we'll break for lunch, which lasts about 30 minutes. And then we're into our nutrition talks, and then we might even go out for a coffee together, take the whole group out, go to Kelly's for a coffee. Might even go food shopping as well, and then we'll make something the next day as well. So.
And this is it is in the round, isn't it? It's physical health, it's emotional awareness and well-being. There's a lot of science behind this, because there's a lot of I don't want to make it sound over complex because the user doesn't see that, but from a background perspective, there's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, we're trying to cover all the pillars. Like, there's been a lot of design. We haven't had a lot of time to put all this together, but we've got an amazing team put together up in No Barriers at the minute, and we're all working very hard. We're making tweaks each week as we go along as well. Yeah.
In terms of how many people are currently enrolled and availability of space, Andrea, because people listening might go, oh, okay, this sounds like it could work for me or it could work for a member of my family. So it's up and running at the moment. How long is it running for, and how do people get involved or get involved?
Well, Greg, we're into the 5th week of Programme 1. We have 17 participants on this particular programme. Altogether, we will run 3 programmes, and we aim to have places for 60 people across the three programmes. So, firstly, we have this programme it's facilitated for adults. Our second programme will also be facilitated for an adult population, and then our third programme will take in a teenage population. So people in or around secondary school age. So we're looking at, between 14 and 17 years of age.
And also there's an empowering element to this. Am I right in saying that some of those that have been in the programme are now working in coaching within it? Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're really excited about taking on board 2 coaches as part of our team at No Barriers Foundation. We will have somebody who's going to participate strongly as an S&C coach. Again, fronting out on the programme to show that people with Down syndrome can take a class, lead a class alongside a coach at No Barriers Foundation. Again, really, supporting us within society to understand that we all have the choice and opportunity to be part of a team, to work, to be empowered to show our skill set within society, and that we can do anything is possible. We have another participant who's going to lead out on our emotional well-being component, again looking at breathwork, meditation, yoga, again alongside one of our coaches at No Barriers Foundation.
Brilliant.
So
David,
really exciting.
What have you seen so far over the course of the course in terms of, I don't know, development or stuff that you've noticed to go, wow,
it's been amazing. Like, there's been a lot of people from all around Donegal, so people making new friends all the time, and just such a good connection. Like, they're very supportive of each other, and it's just been such a joy to work on. And it's kind of sad that we'll finish in this programme, but then starting a whole new group as well. But then we're going to add in classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:30 for whatever people that are on this group that can come to these classes as well. So not really ending. It's going to continue the journey as well. So
yeah, that's it, because people sort of, it's like anything that we enjoy it, and then exactly. Yeah. But there's is this a long term? Is this funded long term, Andrea? Because I know you did get quite a significant amount of funding, but you're talking about growing and reaching out other people.
Yes.
Is this being put in a footing that will give it a long term future?
Yeah. Well, we feel really lucky to have had this opportunity to take this funding and invested in developing a really strong programme, really robust. Again, we've had input from people with Down syndrome and a number of allied health professionals. The funding for this particular programme lasts up until the end of June, and then after that we would be hoping that we would like to take this programme nationally to allow people and associations, Down syndrome associations across Ireland, to have the opportunity to participate in this programme. And as David mentioned earlier, at No Barriers Foundation, we want this to be the beginning, not the end of a programme. What we want to do is incorporate lots of opportunities for people with Down syndrome to come to a class either at No Barriers, or we will go out and support other gyms geographically in Donegal or across the country if that opportunity comes to us. There will be opportunities for self-funding for one-to-one PT classes as well.
And so a model is being created that didn't really quite exist before. So this is brand new, really.
It's brand new, and really exciting.
Okay.
And again, we want this to have a really strong community inclusion focus, supporting people with neurodiversity across the spectrum. People with a diagnosis of Down syndrome have a lot of advantages, a lot to offer our society, and we really want to give them the choice to be able to live long and healthy lifestyles through physical activity, through exercise, through understanding emotional awareness, nutrition.
It's a quality of our lives too, isn't it? And longevity. David, will you have to tweak it much for the younger the younger participants?
No, the main pillars should be very similar. Maybe a little bit more games and stuff like that there, but the core of it's there now, and we make tweaks every week, but only small little changes as well. So no, the core of it should be well there now at this stage. So.
And the mark of success is what you see in the participants. Like, have you seen people develop and
of course,
tooled up for
well, the 2 coaches are like prime examples of that. So one of them leads the cool down of what we're doing at then. He'll do a bit of Tai Chi, get the whole group to follow him. He doesn't even say a word, but all the members just follow along, and it's just been amazing to watch the development over just 5 weeks. So, and then Meg as well, she's the S&C kind of protege in the group, so she is. So it's kind of good seeing her, like she'll lead and show some exercises to the rest of the group. So yeah, it's been very empowering.
Yeah. Have you found that encouraging, Andrea?
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, other really inspiring feedback we've had from participants' families is that one of our participants had a really tough time through COVID. It impacted his mental health significantly, and his mum gave me a call there 2 weeks ago to say what a change he's seen.
Oh, wow.
He's brighter, he's more engaging, he's enjoying, really eager to get in, to come on the programme every day that he does come. Another one of our participants has himself even pointed out to us how much weight he's lost, how trim he's looking, how big his muscles are. And everybody on the programme are really excited. Another mum got in touch to say that her son, due to the emotional awareness component of the programme, she's seen a big change in how he's managing his emotions, and
which is a long-term
participation in
hopefully has a long-term impact as well.
Absolutely, like it's all about relationship management and how you participate and make choices. Really, we want to empower people to be able to make their choices, have gainful employment, have long-term better life, better health, and as you say, improve their quality of health, Greg.
Okay, so how, presumably then in this age category, the course is set and what have you. If someone's listening and they have someone in the age category 14 plus, I think you mentioned, for the next programme, how are people being enrolled or getting involved, or can they ring or contact?
So anybody who has a diagnosis of Down syndrome can come on the programme. If you're interested, get in touch with Donegal Down Syndrome Association. You can become a member for free with Donegal Down Syndrome Association, because the programme has been rolled out in partnership with Donegal Down Syndrome and Rethink Ireland. However, just as you have a diagnosis of Down syndrome and you're not a member of Donegal Down Syndrome Association, that's okay as well. You can get in touch with Donegal Down Syndrome Association or with No Barriers Foundation.
Yeah. And just in terms of the development and growth that we would all have in taking part in something like this. David mentioned that unfortunately, this programme is coming to an end. It'd be nice, I presume, if there could be some sort of, the plan in the future. Is it that there's something more regularly that continues, or?
Yeah, well, the classes will be up and running, and that'll be Tuesday, Thursdays at 4:30, and anybody can come along to those classes.
All right.
There'll be like machine-based classes as well, so that's the plan at the minute.
Oh, brilliant. So if you've gone through the programme, then you can just start coming to the classes on the Tuesday. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, brilliant. So it's not a cliff edge as such.
Yeah, absolutely. Even anybody who hasn't been through the programme and they would like to try out the classes, they are more than welcome to give us a call at No Barriers Foundation or come in and try the classes, even with a family member at first, or if they'd like to give us a call and one of our coaches could have a conversation with them, bring them through the building.
And you're based in
Pine Hill Studios,
Letterkenny, not far from us here. Okay, brilliant
stuff.
Okay, anything, Andrea or David, that you want to add? I think we went through quite a bit there.
I think we're really delighted to have had this opportunity to build this programme and deliver on it. And
I think the fact that you can talk of maybe it having an impact nationally, or can be adapted to a one-on-one, or it seems you've created something potentially really quite important here.
Yeah, it's a therapy-informed model. A lot of people are sitting on waiting lists, not able to get in, having access to one-to-one therapy. So this programme was created to support people to build skill sets in physical activity and everyday living activities, so they can make choices and increase their quality of life, increase their longevity, and give them opportunities to choose healthy lifestyles. So it's about taking this a little bit further. As David says, it doesn't end when the programme finishes after 6 weeks. It really begins.
Brilliant.
This is where we want people to come into our classes or come into a one-to-one session. So it's really the beginning. It's about, including everybody in our
society. No barriers sums it up,
no
really,
barriers,
doesn't it? It's a great name for that reason. There should be no barriers for anyone. All right, brilliant stuff, Andrea and David. So if anyone wants to ask any questions about what we've been speaking about, Andrea, just to make sure I'm as clear as possible, what's the best way to get more info?
So give Donegal Down Syndrome Association a call, or you can give us a call at No Barriers Foundation. We'd be delighted to speak to you.
All right, clearly, Andrea, I can sense that from you. Thank you so very much indeed. Andrea McFeely, Clinical Lead and Coordinator of DS Champions Programme at No Barriers, and David Hone, who's the Activities Lead on the DS Champion Programme. Both of you, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
Uno, dos, tres. A hain, a do, a tree. 1, 2, 3. The Arona, the Ateca and the Tarraco. 3 great SUVs from SEAT. And when you order now, you can enjoy 3 years free tyre insurance and 3 years roadside assistance. Plus 3 flexible payment options to purchase your new SEAT. Visit seat.ie to discover even more of our fantastic offers. Great things come in threes at DMG Motors Donegal Town. And while I have 3 seconds, allow me to say that yes, terms and conditions apply.
Do you need a little extra help staying in your home? At Bluebird Care, we offer a wide variety of QMark approved personalised home care services across Donegal. And our fully trained and committed staff will always meet your care needs with kindness, compassion and dignity. To get your personal home care assessment plan, visit bluebirdcare.ie or call our care team today on 07491 29562 and bring care home.
Highland Radio are celebrating another birthday. We are inviting you to join us for our Highland Radio Birthday Bash on Tuesday the 19th of March in the Mount Errigal Hotel. Joined by the one and only Margot, myself, David James, plus special guests Brendan Quinn, Declan Ernie and Patrick Feeney. This is a night not to be missed. Tickets now on sale. For more information, visit the outlet at highlandradio.com or give us a call on 074 91 25000. We'll see you at the Highland Radio Birthday Bash.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by Grant. Building a new home? Choose Grant's A++ rated Arona air to water heat pump and Uflex underfloor heating. Visit grant.ie.
So dry and bright today with long spells of sunshine as patchy frost clears. Scattered cloud will develop during the afternoon, but staying dry overall, feeling cool with highest temperatures of just around about 6 to 8 degrees in moderate northerly breezes. Now, you might remember going back a couple of weeks, we were on the issue of road safety. And this was focusing on a route. Mary T might help me out on this. Mary T Sweeney ain't to Donegal rep. Drumkeen to Old Town Letterkenny, would that be the easiest way for everyone to sort of get an idea what we're talking about?
Many just call it, Greg, the back road to Balbafay. It takes you up to Drumkeen just before Rosie Bonner's pub there on the main boy, Trenta Boy.
Right, so the last time we were talking about Listac Junction, and it was quite frosty at that time, bit of snow about, and there had been a collision or two there. Another collision, this time no weather to blame.
No weather to blame. And also, Greg, more importantly, no signposts for the people coming up. They didn't realise that the road was going to continue on straight. They thought the road was going to continue on straight, I beg your pardon, but there's actually, they were coming onto a main junction. And 2 cars rode off. One lady's in hospital. Hopefully, please God, she'll do okay, but seemed to have a broken nose. And it was... But both cars, it was a huge impact. I was sitting here working at the computer and I just heard a massive bang, and by nobody's fault because it's such a blind junction. And there's lorries using it, all the quarry lorries use it, there's buses on it. It really has become an extremely busy road.
Yeah.
And it brought to mind the fact that signposts had been knocked down at one of the previous accidents, way back maybe even last year. The number of people that have contacted me about lack of signage, and it's one of those key factors we take for granted. So this is an opportunity for the Donegal County Council, and I would suggest to listeners, if there's a dangerous sign in your area, please photograph it with your location on in your phone and forward it into the Donegal County Council and say, please prioritise this junction because we're seeing accidents. And what one of the people working said to me is that, that to make it an official complaint, you need to get the pulse number. and get that pulse number and forward that to the council to show that there's a repeat of accidents. Because they phoned in the accident, the guard said he knew exactly where to come because of the number of times he's been up here.
That's worrying. Stay with me, obviously, Mary T. I want to bring Kathleen in, a local resident on the Round Road. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I am good. From your perspective, what have you seen in terms of, I suppose, the volume of traffic on this road?
Yes, the volume of traffic, Greg, has, over the last few years, has gone to an uncountable amount. That is the easy way of putting it. People are using this road at all hours of the day and night. Very recently, I left my home to go to Letterkenny around 4 o'clock in the evening. Now, I was going into Letterkenny 4 o'clock, which is not peak. By no means is that peak time at all for that road, as Mary T said, the volume of traffic. And from where I left, which is about 4.5 kilometres, until I got, as we know it, as Old Town, I met 46 vehicles coming out of Letterkenny. Wow. Now, I have asked and commented on a few occasions for the County Council to please put a tracker on the road to see the volume of the traffic, along with the signage. I totally agree with Mary T about signage, yes, but the volume of traffic, Greg, is beyond at this stage of the game. People are afraid coming out of their junctions of their properties at certain times of the day because there is no... It's an 80-kilometre road, and the road surface at the moment from the forestry down, which is Jack, to a good part of Letterkenny, on the Letterkenny side, has gone terrible. It needs total repair. The road surface itself is dangerous. It's corroding on the middle of the road, the sides of the road, everywhere. And there has been a few accidents that hasn't been reported, as Mary T said. You know what I mean? People have had accidents. Vehicles have gone into hedges. People have got a family member come, pull them out and whatever. No guards needed. So they didn't report it to the guards. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that has happened on countless occasions. If something is not done and not done to slow down and for them to register the volume of traffic, there will be somebody killed. That is the way it is at the minute. It's at the stage now that unless they get a counter to see the volume of traffic and they do something about the surface of the road and the signage, people will be killed on this road.
Okay, Kathleen, thank you.
Which I don't want anybody to happen to anybody.
No, stay where you are. That's a really important point, isn't it, Mary T, that Kathleen has made there? I mean, how can you allocate funding or resources or what have you unless you know how busy a road is? And the most simplest way would be to listen to locals' concerns, gauge the amount of traffic on it. There's very little excuse for not having proper signage because, you know, there are three contributing factors at least to a road traffic collision. A, the condition of the vehicle. B, which there's a great focus on what the driver's doing. But C, and it's not talked about enough, even though I try and raise it on this show, the condition of the road and the availability of signage of stuff. That is a key plank of what can cause road traffic collisions. And there's a responsibility here from the local authority or the TII, whomever may be responsible, to ensure that they're keeping up their side of the bargain on that third strand of contributing factors.
And exactly, Greg, I couldn't agree with you more. And getting back to what Kathleen says, the residents are in a compromised position because there are so many multiple accidents here that didn't require the guards or an ambulance, but there was significant damage to vehicles. You don't want to have to phone the guards to get a pulse number to let the council see how serious this is. A great example of the council is we had highlighted the Cranford to Carrigart Road. There was a very serious drop and a number of cars had gone off it. The council did a fantastic job. They came up and put up a big screen, a big barrier to prevent somebody getting killed going down this embankment. But the locals are now saying it's making people drive out in the middle of the road more because they're afraid of the barrier and the white lines are gone in Milford. Cranford to Carrygart Road. So there's another area that, again, local knowledge is paramount to making sure that there's not an accident, because again, there's an embankment there and it's quite narrow. So things like that, they need a facility to address the feedbacks from the community when something's happening. And it's not a master scheme. It's just a common sense approach.
But Kathleen, from your perspective as a local resident, at the end of the day, you know, you could put all the counters on the road. You know how busy it is. Even if that, yeah, exactly. So even if that road were resurfaced and proper signage up, you're starting to see an awful lot of traffic on a road that wasn't designed for it at all. So, you know, even if we get a sense of what the crack is, what do you think needs to be done to that road? Because I can't imagine traffic not using it now going forward with the way Letterkenny's developing.
No. That is the thing about it, Greg. You know what I mean? I know I'm no engineer, but to see the volume of the traffic and to upgrade the surface of the road and to put up signage would be a massive help. After that, it's an engineer's decision.
Yeah.
But if he has it in paper in front of him, the volume of traffic, the state of the road surface, and the signage put up, then that's him. It's his baby then to work on it. No disrespect, Greg.
No,
he would be better qualified than I. You know, and it can't be that big a deal for the council to put a tripwire on the road to count it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
They did it, sorry Greg, they did it about 12 years ago. It was done then. Now, 12 years ago to 2024 is a different situation. This road, people have found it when there was roadworks on the main Balbafay to Letterkenny Road, and when they were doing the main Letterkenny Road in. Do you know what I mean? And people are using this road. It's a cut-through road. There is no negotiating on it. You can cut through to Balbafay on two different directions if you choose to do so. So it is a road that is used every day. I would personally like to see the volume of the traffic sorted, as in knowing what is the volume of the traffic. Sort the road surface. Definitely needs upgrading ASAP, because it is a danger, and ASAP all the signage.
Okay.
Because if you put into Google Maps and you're not from the area, the quickest way to Letterkenny, that's the road it takes you.
Yeah, indeed, and that's what we were talking about the last time. Kathleen, listen, thank you so very much for your time. Mary T as well, thank you for rejoining us on this issue, and we'll make our inquiries to the council as well to see if they're going to listen to the demands of yourself and local residents like Kathleen, though you're a local resident as well as an Ain2 rep. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you,
Take
Greg.
care.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much indeed.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
New this week in Home Store and More. All garden plant pots are all half price. That's right, all garden plant pots are all half price. But better hurry, because when all the half price garden plant pots are gone, they're gone. Also, all rugs are still all half price. But when all the half price rugs are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. New store now open in Frascati Centre, Blackrock. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Are you ready to elevate your driving experience? Look no further than iMotors, your only Nissan dealership in the Northwest. The Nissan X-Trail has been crowned Large SUV of the Year. That's right, it's not just an SUV, it's an award-winning experience on wheels. Available in 4-wheel drive and a 7-seater. Visit us today at imotors.ie to find out more.
This leap day, some things are absolutely guaranteed. Like boyfriends mysteriously going AWOL for the day, and 84-year-olds having 21st birthday parties. But another guarantee this leap day, and only in Ireland, is that one Eurodreams player will win €2,000 every month for the next 5 years. That's €2,000 a month for 5 years. Guaranteed. But only if you play Eurodreams on the 29th of February. The National Lottery. It could be you. Play responsibly, play for fun.
Ryan Addams is back on tour in 2024. Join Highland Radio on our trip to Dublin to see the man himself at the 3 Arena on Tuesday the 21st of May 2024. Your trip includes luxury transfers, bed and breakfast at the 4-star Carlton Hotel Blanchardstown, your standing ticket to the show, and a shopping trip to Dublin city centre the following day. Find out more on the outlet at highlandradio.com or call us on 074 91 25,000.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
Okay, we're heading into the final hour of Monday's programme, and to help us on the way, here's the latest news headlines at 11:15 from Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. A priest in Glenfin says it seems the HSE is trying to close St Joseph's Hospital by stealth. Father Logan Sharkey, a member of the Save Our St Joseph's Hospital Committee, says a meeting is being organised between the committee and the HSE through Minister Charlie McConalogue, and there are a number of serious questions that need to be asked. As of today, primary care physiotherapy services have been moved out of the hospital, but the HSE says inpatient services remain in place. Ahead of the upcoming local elections, Defective Bloc campaigners are urging affected homeowners to have their say on what a true 100% redress scheme would look like. A meeting is taking place on this day week, Monday, March 4th, at 7 in Grianan Hotel Burt, where a document outlining the key principles of a true 100% redress scheme will be presented. That document will then be passed on to all political parties and all candidates nationally. The 100% redress, MICA Action and Redress focus groups say the 4 key principles are property, process, people and support and prevention. Fresh pay offers mean Northern Ireland's public health and transport workers might not be going back to the picket lines. A 3-day strike involving bus and train drivers that was to have started at midnight tonight is not going ahead. A new settlement for health workers would bring their pay into line with England and also includes a lump sum worth around €1,800, while a new proposal has also been put to transport workers by TransLink. Trade unions are taking the respective offers back to their members to vote. Groups and organisations in Donegal are being invited to apply to the Heritage Council's Community Heritage Grant Scheme. Last year, 13 Donegal-based projects were funded through the scheme. Meanwhile, efforts are being made to promote monastic sites in Inishowen with a view toward driving tourism in the area. Go Visit Inishowen say Christian sites in the peninsula are being undersold. And more than 8,000 work permits were given to healthcare staff last year. A total of 31,000 permits were issued in 2023, according to the Irish Independent. Workers travelling here from India, the Philippines, Brazil and China have been described as crucial to the Irish economy. And we're back with headlines again at 12 noon.
Donald, thank you very much indeed.
Before you settle on a new hybrid, take the Nissan Qashqai e-Power Challenge. The Nissan Qashqai e-Power is a hybrid, so you don't have to plug in. But unlike other hybrids, it always drives in electric mode. You get the superior, smooth and quiet driving experience of an electric car all of the time. Take the Nissan Qashqai e-Power Challenge at your local Nissan dealer today. You'll never look back. Nissan, innovation that excites.
All right, now we were talking about the Ron Road just before the break, and Fianna Fáil County Councillor Donald Mandy Kelly is very familiar with this stretch of road and has been making representations about it, which I wasn't aware of. Good to get a bit of clarity then from you, Councillor Kelly. Good morning to you. What's the situation?
Good morning, Greg. Good morning, your listeners. And Greg, listen, I was just listening to the conversation there with Mary T and Kathleen and yourself there, and just on a point of clarification, Greg, I'm fully aware of this junction, and listen, it's disheartening to hear there's another accident there, and I hope that the people in question is okay. But listen, Greg, as we know, back in recent weeks there, I raised a motion regarding this corner in question and the road, particularly regarding the safety of it. And I can, just a point of clarification, say that Donegal County Council is now going to carry out a safety assessment on this corner, and they're going to put up the adequate signage that is needed. And also that road there, Kathleen mentioned, needing resurfaced, and it is deteriorated. That is something I brought to the attention of Donegal County Council as well. And we have passed this road as a council to have it resurfaced now in the coming weeks. So it will be resurfaced from the the entrance there, more or less, at Corravati Woods, right down to meet the Ran Road where the resurfacing works last year stopped. So, listen, Greg, it's positive news. They are going to carry out, as I say, a safety assessment when they're carrying out these works on this corner as well, to put whatever safety measures is needed in place. So, listen, it's welcome news, and just to let Kathleen and Mary T know that going forward, Greg.
So, to some extent, on some of the queries, that the pushing an open door in that the foot road is to be resurfaced, and a safety assessment of the corner stack is. But to the third point from Kathleen, in terms of, counting, is there any benefit in counting the amount of traffic on that road? Anecdotally, apparently it's tripled, and it's perhaps seeing way more traffic than it was designed for. Is there anything that can or needs to be done there on a long-term basis, if this is going to be, an established route, for right or wrong, from Ballybofey to Letterkenny?
Yeah, Greg, and I did bring that to the attention of Donegal County Council as well, and that is going to be looked at. And listen, I did request, as well as Kathleen stated, that we should be looking at putting a traffic counter on this road, just determine how busy it has been getting in recent months, or maybe in the last year or two, and particularly. And listen, I suppose it was brought to my attention at the time, Greg, that for people that suppose aren't aware of the road, that when they plan to Google Maps Letterkenny and they're coming from the Donegal town or Ballybofey side, the Google Maps is actually sending them down this route. Yep. So this is, I suppose, increasing the volume of traffic on that, and it's something that I've asked as well the Donegal County Council look into. How they address that, that's in their hands now, but it's something that I have my sights firmly on, and I will keep on top of this.
All right, thanks for the update. I appreciate it, Councillor Donald Mandy Kelly there. Now, I just want to quickly mention a competition. It's the last time I'm going to mention this today. So if you would like to, I'll tell you what's coming up. Fundamania Fairground is coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl in Derry, Londonderry, from the 1st of March till the 17th of March. We're giving you a chance to win incredible family passes every day this week. You get a family pass for a full day, so that's unlimited fun and excitement. As I say, 2 a day this week. We're asking you to identify a town in Donegal from these 3 clues. Mary's from there, Watersford, it's a festival town. Text your answer, your name and where you are from to 086 60 25,000. You can WhatsApp that number as well. So you're invited to feel the rush on the Apple roller coaster, spin till you're dizzy on the cups and navigate through the chaos in the bumping cars. But that's not all. You dive into a sea of excitement with the Sea Storm and test your aim at the water gun game, and let your taste buds dance with delight with our mouth-watering hot food and sweet treats. And we've got 2 passes a day to give away on the programme this week. Damien's with us now. Hi, Damien. Am I correct in saying, Damien, that you were the driver of the car involved in the collision on this junction at the weekend?
Yes, that's correct, Greg, yeah.
What happened, as much as you can determine?
Well, I was driving down towards Letterkenny and I was ready to turn the corner, and the man appeared out of nowhere driving another car, and there were nowhere to go.
Wow.
But the man clearly didn't see that I had to stop. He thought I was on a different road.
So you had the knowledge, but there's nothing you could do about it because he just he wasn't aware of what was upcoming.
Yeah. The man was lost. He was following a sat nav, and he just thought the road had went straight ahead, and he didn't think he'd done anything wrong.
Wow.
But clearly there were no signposts. The signposts flat on the ground there.
What was the collision like, Damien?
It just wasn't that pretty now.
Mm. Airbags and all go off?
Sorry?
Did the airbags and all go off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, okay. Hopefully you're okay.
Yeah, everybody's okay, but I want to touch on that. Everybody wants to fix a signpost today whenever the horse is after leaving the stable.
Mm.
It's just typical Donegal County Council. They're going to fix everything today, but that's maybe when the last accident happened would have been probably a good time to fix it.
Yeah. That driver following the sat-nav, he didn't have a chance because there was no in-person thing to notify him of this corner upcoming, and you're paying the price this morning.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Too late for you. I'll get you, Damien. Listen, not that it's much comfort with car probably destroyed and what have you, but I'm glad you're okay. But as you say, you're saying this come a bit late. If those signs had been put up after the last collision, this one could have been avoided.
Yeah.
All right,
exactly.
Damien. Okay, listen, take care of yourself. Thanks
you.
very much for that. I appreciate it. And that's the access. That's the wonder of Highland Radio there. We're talking about an incident, and then we get to speak to the actual person that was involved in it and get their perspective. All right, fascinating. Okay. Some comments coming in here. Greg, Vinny here. Hi, Vinny. I deliver in the Ron area every day. That junction is shocking, to be fair. It's really, really dangerous. The elephant in the room with these roads, Lismonaghan, Ron, Cullion, all these roads are seeing massive increases in traffic volume since the 4-lane works and traffic lights. The back road from Drumkeen to Letterkenny is being used as people are avoiding the disastrous 4 lanes, and of course the fact that the Bonagee link was not built, indeed, yeah. That's how I would have known it, sort of Drumkeen to Old Town. Put in a few ramps, people not that stupid, at least it will slow them down. But listen, a sign saying dangerous junction ahead, I get where maybe that will form a factor of it, that there'll be other, traffic calming measures, but signage is the basics, Back to the road, staying with the roads. The road at Tullyrap, Lifford's very dangerous. A barrier would need to be put up to save cars going off the road. In terms of housing, the government needs to stop letting hedge funds buy housing estates and homes. This is how we can tackle the housing crisis. We need to stop block buying. And just in relation to St. Joseph's, great to hear Father Lorcan and John speaking out about the hospital. Hope that they will get all that they want, indeed. From Brian in Convoy, this is an interesting one. A humming noise woke us up at 4:40. It lasted 2 hours. This was overnight. I killed the electricity but could still hear it. It was so loud that we woke from our sleep. We mentioned it to the guards and they have had a few reports on it. The postman also heard it. We're wondering, did anyone else hear it? So are you in the Convoy area? Are you hearing a humming noise? If you think you're going mad, you're not, because other people are hearing this too. Wouldn't it be interesting if we could get to the bottom of this for Brian? Apparently, some people phoned the guards about it. The postman heard it as well. Have you heard the humming noise in Convoy? Let us know. 08660 25,000. Do you know where it's coming from? These stories pop up from time to time. We've had this a couple of times, not about Convoy necessarily, but in different areas. Often it seems to be a piece of electrical equipment, like I don't know what, like an electric station or something humming away. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to this question is, but I know there are people out there better informed than me. Most of you are, in fact. So what's the humming in Convoy? It's so noisy, it woke people up. Guards have been notified about it as well. We're going to be talking GAA with Brendan after these.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
Mike Denver in concert with guests Declan Ernie and Brendan Shine at Grianan Theatre, Letterkenny on Thursday, February 29th. Tickets on sale at Grianan Box Office. That's Mike Denver with Declan Ernie and Brendan Shine at Grianan Theatre, Letterkenny on Thursday, February 29th. Don't miss a great concert.
Across a wide range of categories, the 2024.ie Digital Town Awards are a chance to showcase your town's digital project. Apply now at digitaltownawards.ie. Brought to you by .ie, Ireland's national domain registry. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for that Brooks experience? Try the new range at bmcsports.ie. New Ghost Max, Glycerin 21, or the Adrenaline GTS 23. Step into our safe size experience so we can fit the best trainer for your foot. Let us make your trainer experience the best it can be. Brian McCormick Sports, Main Street, Letterkenny.
To make way for new stock arriving in March, Highland Motors in Letterkenny have a flash sale now on until Monday the 4th of March. With great scrappage deals of up to €2,000 on all used Dacia Dusters and up to 3 years warranty on most of the award-winning used Renault models like Arcana, Capture and Clios. It's a sale with exceptional offers. Don't miss out this week at Highland Motors in Letterkenny or visit highlandmotors.ie.
Getting married? Don't leave it too late. Book with us today at the Groom's Room in Evolve Clothing, Letterkenny Retail Park.
We've one planet and it's ours to protect. From repairing to swapping to creating and recreating. Learn the changes you can make every Tuesday at 12:30 to live a little greener. Tune in to Ours to Protect on Highland Radio with me, Donna Marie.
Ours to Protect is brought to you by Highland Radio, the IBI, and funded by Commissioner Mann with the television licence fee. Check out ourstoprotect.ie for more information.
Okay, we're looking forward to the very popular Highland Radio GEA podcast, the DL Debate. It's broadcast live and then available for podcast, and its presenter is the legendary Brendan Devaney. Hi, Brendan.
Yes, Greg.
Have you bought a webcam?
No.
Well,
I have one.
You must be on the Mrs. Laptop. This is not the normal laptop.
No, I had to get a wee one actually. I think because I've thrown my laptop about that much, the camera got damaged. Okay. And then I do a streaming thing with smaller fish there, so I had to get a wee camera and a wee mic there and all because my computer gets a bit of bad treatment in my car, you know.
Listen, we're going to go through some of the weekend GE action, but the question I'm very keen to ask of you is that what is going on with Donegal here? Is Jim McGuinness keeping his cards close to his chest? Is he trying things? Maybe first half versus second half, not so much in yesterday's game, in previous games. Or is he sort of Dublin-esque, building this team towards a peak down the line? They're playing great football, enjoyable to watch, I think, anyway. But what is happening in terms of this team's development and tactically on a day-to-day basis? Is he trying stuff? Is he keeping his cards close to his chest? What's going on?
I suppose we can only guess, Greg, what he is doing. And as long as the team's doing well and we're only seeing maybe patches of what he wants to do and create. It is the league. It's what the league is there for. Obviously, we want to get promoted, and we're sitting top with Armagh at the minute. This was the big game. I thought to myself from the get-go, it was always going to be a bit cagey. And I suppose maybe more about Armagh's tactics. I mean, they hit 6 long balls in the first half. The 4 we dealt with, the next 2 they got 1-1 off. And it was interesting just to see their tactical play in it. We didn't really do the high press that we've been doing before and that. So I think you're right. Yeah, Jim's looking at games in different ways. And I think as long as you're solid at the back and you're playing that kind of modern brand, there's probably different periods in the game where you can maybe go after teams and change it up. I don't think any tactic on its own works in any game because the game's going to ebb and flow a bit. You've got to be solid at the back. And then I think if you high press all the time, teams will play around you or find a way around it. So I think it has to be different periods of the game, and I think that's what you're seeing with Donegal, but should have won the match, really. Like, if we had a bit of ball in the net, I mean, Armagh still haven't conceded a goal, and I don't think it was down to them. It was more just maybe our poor finishing, missed a penalty, the one off the bar in particular, a couple of other goal chances as well. Any of them goes in and we won the match. And so listen, for McGeaney, he hasn't had much success with Jim and Jim's
but in terms of, I mean, obviously the chances were there and the options were there, but one thing you don't see this year is the team play to the very end. Do you know, like, I think just sort of going back a year or two, I can't timeline it, sort of sometimes you would feel that, you know, the team gave up on the 60th minute or whatever. I don't want to be critical of anyone, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, that could be a game that was lost by a point as well. It could have been won, but it could have been lost for a point. But the team is playing to the very final whistle.
Yeah, listen, O'Neill's strike at the end, might have thought that was it. But see, when you have the players of the ability of Shane O'Donnell coming on, I mean, Jimmy Brennan coming on, Jack McKelvey, you have people that can, I mean, people now don't call them subs, they call them finishers, you know, and I think that is actually a better name for them because, listen, O'Donnell obviously could have won the match, but in the end it was him that tied it up. So I just think there's so much talent out there now, and there's so many players with the ability to kick the ball to the bar, subs coming on as well. So away from home, you know, when you weigh it all up, I think this will be the league final pairing as well. So it'll be very interesting. How do these two teams look at each other in the league final? Because we're looking at, I mean, I was in Healy Park on Saturday. Tyrone, first half, absolutely shocking. And come out in the second half was like a completely different team. McCurry comes on and Canavan. So, Derry are just blazing it up at the minute, and we're facing them coming down the lines. And what I was looking at was, if you look at the Dublin team from the weekend, Saturday night, too, the powerful long-range running, I mean, it's absolutely end-to-end stuff. So I think there's what it's all about. Once you get to those bigger sides, the fitness and the strength and the power is what it's all about. And that's where Donegal's the level they're trying to get to.
Just in relation to the relationship between the team and Jim McGuinness, as you say, if it is as you say, that that play different ways at different parts of the game, it then does point to a very strong connection of being on the same page from the line onto the pitch. That, in other words, Jim McGuinness has it in a way whereas he can adapt mid-game, but the players know what they want, and en masse they're able to respond to that. To be able to switch it up in-game effectively, especially when it comes down to the big games, if we start getting that right, which we are clearly, then if your theory is correct, it's quite impressive.
Yeah, and I think you must have so many strings to your bow, and that's what I was talking about the bench coming on. And from last year, the way we basically have maybe 7-8 players in there from last year, Greg, there's a completely different focus. Jim just builds this mentality. He did it the last time. He's brilliant at it in terms of not just the squad, but the whole county. We mix. He wants everybody in Donegal to be proud of the team, and for the team then to push each other on a training every night and then go down to the games. And it's interesting you're saying about in-game management. I'm just thinking the camera went across to Kevin McStay there after Tyrone just ripped them apart second half, and you could see him shaking his head. They just had no answer for what was happening. And sometimes when a team raises at that level, that can be difficult, but that's why you need your solid defence in there first. So if you do come under pressure, that you can withstand a team maybe winning a lot of kickouts and putting a lot of pressure on you, not concede too much. And that's the key. And if you look at a team from Mayo over the years, they've never been able to do that. And that's why they don't get that whole way of winning All Ireland. And all the other teams have got very, very tactical. And you just see that, and you see it with the performance. I mean, that was a real statement performance from Dublin the last night. And as I say, our neighbours here, Derry and Tyrone, two fantastic ones at the weekend as well. And I say Aaron Curran was actually in Croke Park Saturday night. He's on with me this evening as well. It'll be interesting to get his views on that game. And of course, from the Armagh perspective.
Well, that is going to be fascinating, because he's probably not like you. He's looking at this from an Armagh perspective. And you're coming at it from a Donegal perspective, so but both of you can see what's happening in the other team. That's going to be fascinating. He's on the show. Park Hilferty, he's with you as well, so there'll be a bit of crack there, no doubt. As you mentioned, Aaron Kernan's there. You're going to be talking about what seems to be sort of an upward curve for Ulster football. On the hurling pitch, Donegal and Tyrone drew in Division 2B. There's going to be a bit of chat about that as well. And you've Michael Sticky Ward in for a chat. What's that about?
Yeah, I just looked. I don't know if anybody's ever done this. He's won all the divisions. I think there's one more A-Root player has done it as well this season. So they won Division 4-3-2-1, and he's won championships as well. It'd be interesting to see if anybody knows out there, has anybody else ever done that? I don't think. I've actually won Division 4 and Division 1. That's it. That's the two leagues I've won. So also interested to get A-Root. From a very interesting story, they were the masters when I started playing. They were the best team in the county, and they really went downhill there badly. It's taken them so long to get back, and now they're back at a level to compete. So I'm interested just to see, because he was at the very start of that, so he's seen it all now as well. So just a wee bit of a club focus on the chat. He's Sticky, he's played for Donegal as well. He's a great lad. He's still playing yet, even though he's upwards in years. I'll let him tell us his birthday when he comes on tonight. But he said to me he came back just to coach the team, and he had a bit of a belly on him, but he says he was still better than some of the other lads there, so he ended up playing.
Nothing wrong with a bit of a belly, Brendan. Right, okay, that's the DL debate live this evening after the 7 p.m. news. Parks in with Brendan in studio. Aaron Kernan, the Armagh legends, on there as well, and going to be a really interesting chat. Tracking really, I suppose, the rise, the fall, the rise, and much more besides, with Michael Sticky Ward from the Ballyshannon Club. A show not to be missed, brought to you in association with Sarah's Kitchen at Sister Sarah's in Letterkenny. Looking forward to it, Brent. Thanks so much. Anything else you want to mention?
No, I just went to the Donegal dinner on Saturday night. We had a brilliant night. Really rocked the cash bar, you know. It was.
So you were at Dunlow, you were at Petticoat, we at Termon.
That's it. No, Dunlow, Petticoat, and Setanta,
yeah. But you were raving about that. You were raving about the Petticoat one, right? So which was better? Okay, that answers the question. I think that was a particularly fun one then.
I'll see that. Some crew. No, but listen, we had a great night, a phenomenal season. The clean sweep of ladies underage. That was the second year in a row. Obviously won the junior, went to an Ulster final, and the club, as they were saying, the Camogie, the Score, the Gaelic, the hurling, there's a huge amount of work, and you look at success, I suppose, with clubs, Greg, and just saying the last night, the success in the pitch stuff's just part of it. There's so much happening in the club around people's involvement and friendships. And
by coincidence, I happened to see the Dunlow ladies a couple of times this year, and my word, it was the strength, but the depth. They could have. It looked like they could have fielded two powerful teams, like whatever's going on over there.
Yeah, listen, and Greg, to clean sweep all the underage and then to do it again this year, there's something brewing out there. So the powers of Termon and Glenfin, I'm sure, are looking over the shoulder now, thinking what's coming up. And I suppose the unions are coming back at it as well, Maville, etc. So listen, it's always healthy. Even as I say, them getting back involved in hurling, and you just see from the new chairman of the GA, Jarlath Burns, special focus on hurling and promoting all clubs, as many to get involved. And I suppose that's what it's about. It's about promotion. That's what we do on the show as well. We promote all aspects of the sport, which is a nice thing to do as well. Everybody deserves their bit of day in the sun, day in the night.
No, for sure. Listen, and that's why people are enjoying and continue to enjoy the podcast. Brendan, thank you very much indeed. Brendan Devaney there. The DL Debate live for you after 7 this evening, and then it's available for a podcast if you're going out for a walk or a drive or whatever. You can stream it from our website, download it from there as well. Okay. Thanks, Brendan. What's your take on the second Jim McGuinness era? As I say, a lot of the conversation is not necessarily about the quality of play or where we're at. A lot of what people I'd be talking about is like, what's Jim at? Like, is he holding the cards close to his chest? Is he trying different things mid-game? Is he looking to peak at a certain point? And you know what? It's nice when you talk about draws and earlier victories to be speaking about it in that context, because it feels positive, and we're optimistic for the future. And again, brilliant performances from both Derry and Tyrone. Not easy to watch the Donegal game, though. I know it was on GEA Go, and it was on the red button, was it, on BBC Northern Ireland? I don't think we've had a game yet, have we, on telly, regular telly, so far in the league. I'm open to correction on that. Was the one on TG Car? I'm not sure. Maybe that was on the web. Maybe they had one game that was on the internet, but there hasn't been one live broadcast television show game yet from Donegal this year. Rightio, we're going to be joined by Irish Olympian Frank O'Mara. He's got a new book out, Bend Don't Break. It's a memoir of endurance, and he's going to be talking to me on this show after we take a break.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
Donegal ETB's Further Education and Training Fair is on this Wednesday and Thursday in the Radisson Blu Hotel, Letterkenny. Wednesday evening is aimed at Leaving Cert students, their parents and anyone looking to upskill. And on Thursday from 10, it's for anyone interested in full and part-time education or training opportunities. Join me, John Breslin, on Around the Northwest, live from the fair on Thursday, as we find out about some of the many options available in more than 100 venues across Donegal. That's this Thursday, live from Donegal ETB's Further Education and Training Fair in the Radisson Blu Hotel, Letterkenny.
Discover comfort with iHeating and Cooling, your trusted heat pump engineers and Mitsubishi approved service providers in Donegal. We design, install and maintain cutting-edge heating systems. Build a lasting relationship with us through annual service and comprehensive after-sales support. Contact us for a free consultation on low-cost, low-carbon heating solutions. Visit iheatingandcooling.ie today.
There's bingo every Monday night at Halfway House Burnfoot. Doors open 7:30 with eyes down at 8:30. €2,500 must go. The snowball is now €1,050 on 45 numbers or less. If you're not in, you can't win. That's Halfway House Bingo tonight at 8:30.
Join me, Marty Friel, every Friday night from 8 for Rockin' Hits on Highland Radio in association with Arena 7, where you can enjoy dinner and drinks in a Woodbury Grill, Bar and Restaurant before bowling in Arena 7's state-of-the-art lanes. See arena7.ie.
Don't miss the BAFTA award-winning comedian Michael McIntyre's brand new show, Magnificent, at the SSE Arena Belfast on Friday the 31st of May 2024. As always, Highland Radio make it easy for you as we look after all your needs. We will provide luxury transfers, overnight stay at the Clayton Hotel Belfast on a B&B basis, your ticket to the show, shopping time in Belfast City Centre. For more information, go to the outlet at highlandradio.com or give us a call on 074 91 25000. Michael McIntyre in Belfast.
Now, our next guest on the programme is Irish Olympian Frank O'Mara, author of a new book, a memoir of endurance, Bend, Don't Break. Frank, lovely to have you on the programme. Thank you so much for your time today.
Nice to be here, Greg.
I suppose, Frank, with everything you've achieved in the world of sport and the challenges that you've faced as well and continue to face, the question is where did you find or do you find the time to put together this brilliant book?
Well, it was an exercise in acceptance for me, because for many years I didn't accept that I had this disease. Writing the book made it very real to me, and it was very cathartic.
Yeah, 3 times Olympian and athletics legend, as people would know. But you have Parkinson's disease, which is a progressive disorder that affects the nervous system and all parts of the body controlled by the nerves. And in writing this book, and I'm glad to hear that it was a cathartic process for you and what have you, but what is it that you want the reader, what do you want for the reader?
Well, a couple of things. I want to live in the present. You can't worry about how you're going to be in 2 years or 10 years, how bad you might be. You can deal with that when you get there. So always live in the present. And there is hope. You know, something will come around, you hang around to go along, you pinch of gold, you know. So I want people to have hope and to live in the present.
You also talk of a treatment that you have called deep brain stimulation. I hadn't heard of this before. Is it well established, Frank, or is it a trial, or how would you frame it?
Well, you'd say, first of all, that I don't talk very well, and I apologise to everybody for my voice, but Parkinson's has hurt my voice dramatically. But they put 2 leads deep into your brain. They drill 2 holes in your brain, put these leads down in there with 4 electrodes per lead, hook it up to an impulse generator in your chest, and I run 3.3 milliamps through my brain at all times. And what it does is it interrupts poor signaling channels and forces the brain to use alternative transmission.
Okay, now this book it's a story. I mean, even just your athletics career. Sometimes you have to pinch yourself with the experiences you had and what you managed to achieve, because you know we are such a tiny little nation. When you think about it, we're almost insignificant, but of course we aren't. But your athletics career and the experience you had, breaking records, national records, of course, world records, it must have been a most wonderful experience. Was it, Frank?
It was extraordinary. Anytime you put on the green jersey or singlet in our case, it's a privilege and an honour. But it's strangely, I learned a lot from athletics, but I learned more from my defeats than I did from my victories. I don't talk about many of my victories in the book. I talk about the defeats that made me. Because when you do poorly in front of millions of people, to reconcile that with yourself. It's not always easy to come to terms with failures, but I found that they have helped me cope with this situation a lot better.
It's funny too, because you're one of many people, very accomplished sports people that I've spoken to, and I'm not sure if this is quite the way with you, but that after retirement or post-career, they do struggle to deal. Often what's at the foremost of the minds is something that went wrong or a narrow defeat in an All-Ireland final, and not the glory as well. It's almost like a human condition, isn't it, that we have to, that we find ourselves focusing on the what could have beens and sometimes forgetting the amazing things that we do achieve.
But I think sometimes when you achieve something great, your almost immediate reaction is, well, that wasn't what I thought it would be. It's almost deflating when you win, but regrets last for a lifetime. And I think most athletes, like you said, harbor regrets, and I certainly have tons of regrets. But it is amazing how you just focus on the negative.
And then at the young age of 48, your life was changed forever, diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's. What we can read it in the book, but I wonder, particularly coming from the background that you did and what you achieved, was the part of you saying, well, this can't be happening to me because, I was a world leading athlete. How could this happen to me? Or how long did it take you to come to terms with that news, Frank? And how did you cope?
Well, unfortunately, my good friend John Walker, who won 76 Olympic gold medal, had Parkinson's my age, but I didn't cope very well, to be honest. I had a hard time accepting it. And I actually chased the Lyme disease diagnosis for about 2 years, had a port put in my chest and took a massive amounts of antibiotics, which made my condition even worse. But I didn't want to believe it because I thought, how can it happen to me? But I'll tell you this, Greg, I never got focused. I never worried too much about why me. Or that was looking backwards to me. So I never indulged in why poor old me. Just get on with it.
But you did have to get on with it, and that requires adaptation and finding your pathway through a diagnosis and a disease. You do have to learn, don't you, and adapt and learn to face these new hurdles.
Adapt is right. Michael J. Fox is quoted as saying, your happiness is directly proportional to your acceptance and inversely proportional to your expectations. So part and parcel of accepting it, reducing your expectation. So for someone like me or you or any of our listeners, sometimes our self-worth is caught up in accomplishment. So if you accomplish nothing on a monthly or yearly basis, you don't feel good about yourself. It's very hard to lower expectations, but you have to, in terms of where you go, what you do, what you can engage in. But if you lower it too much, you fall apart. So it's magic to lower it just enough. It reminds me of running your race for 10K every year. If you're going to do 50, you want to run 50 minutes. If you're 60, you want to run 60 minutes. And then you gradually reduce your expectations to increase your acceptance.
In terms of your athletics career, the drive, that extra 1% that can distinguish you from someone else, how you cope with things, how you deal with things, your training, your discipline. As you worked through your diagnoses and in an attempt to keep moving forward and meeting your challenges head on, was sort of your athletics training and your discipline, were you able to lean on that a little bit? Do you think that's helped you through your illness, or are they almost like two completely different lives?
Well, they are two completely different lives, but it did have to just keeping a diary, logging all your runs, what you eat. That helped me because we tried a number of different medicines. And by keeping a healthy log, I could try to give feedback to my doctors on how things were going. So it's just been you take one race at a time, one day at a time. So all that was very helpful.
Brilliant. And the book, I've read some reviews. I haven't had an opportunity to read the book yet. And it's interesting because I think, you could get a sports person to review it and they can sort of see that side of it. You could probably get someone who themselves has had a diagnosis or someone close to them, and and it's all intertwined. But it's got broad appeal, I think, for those that like a sports book, but also those that like a story that hopefully might inspire them or to help them on their journey. Because whilst your journey is with Parkinson's, we all face different challenges in life, don't we? And maybe the same sort of rules and what might work for you can be adapted to different situations.
Yeah, I think people who suffer from long-term depression or any debilitating disease, it would help. My inspiration is to help the awareness of Parkinson's in this country. So many people don't know that DBS, deep brain stimulation, exists. It's been here for 5 or 6 years. So, and Parkinson's is not funded by the government, it's funded by local bake sales, whatever goes on locally. So it's an ever-increasing disease. And I just wanted to help.
Yeah, it's been absolutely lovely speaking to you, Frank. Thank you so very much indeed. And I wish you nothing but success with the book. And I know it's going to be incredibly popular, and it's available in all good bookshops and online as well. And I really, as I say, appreciate your time today. And thank you so much for joining us.
And thanks for putting up with my voice.
Not at all. I understood every single word perfectly fine, Frank. And so there was no issue there at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye. That's Irish Olympian Frank O'Mara, author of a book. It's called Bend, Don't Break. It's a memoir of endurance. One quote on the back here: "Victory's a life well lived, or a day in June, or a day enjoyed." Sonia O'Sullivan, she says, "I really enjoyed this book. What a roller coaster of emotions. Frank faces up to Parkinson's by calling on every challenge he has had on the running track and in life. He accepts adversity head on, always finding a way forward." Sean Ogo helping. "It takes an exceptional individual coming from a tiny nation on the western periphery of Europe to excel as a world-class middle-distance runner, as it's a brutal and hard-fought field. And if that wasn't a superhuman effort enough, Frank's resilience is tested once again when he's diagnosed with early-onset Parkinson's disease at just 48 years of age." A compelling read. So there's Sonia and Sean, two incredibly successful people in their own rights. Okay, back with more on the programme very shortly.
Choose life. Choose fun. Choose not sitting at home getting bored. Choose something better. Something really fun. Choose Fundamania. Coming to the Brunswick Movie Bowl from March 1st. Choose regular, junior or family wristbands and enjoy some of Europe's top thrill rides. Choose fun for all ages. A legendary Fundamania event, 1st to the 17th of March. For details, see fundamania.co.uk.
New this week in Home Store and More. All garden plant pots are all half price. That's right, all garden plant pots are all half price. But better hurry, because when all the half price garden plant pots are gone, they're gone. Also, all rugs are still all half price. But when all the half price rugs are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. New store now open in Frascati Centre, Blackrock. Home Store and More. A happy home.
At Hickey, Clark and Langan Insurance Brokers, they compare quotes from all the leading insurers, so you get a great price. Home, motor and van, farm, holiday home, travel and liability insurance. They quote them all. So if the worst happens, you're covered. For a competitive insurance quote today, call Hickey, Clark and Langan on 9126688 or pop into their office at Ballymacool, Letterkenny. Hickey, Clark and Langan General Insurances Limited, trading as Hickey, Clark and Langan, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
I saw your Be Good baker running by again the other day, says I to old Mr. Brennan. Ah, yes, says he. I've never seen her stand still. And she's running rings around the rest of us with our Brennan's Be Good bread. Only 60 calories a slice. 60 calories, says I. That's just a whole meal, is it? No, says he, it's the whole meal, the whole grain and the white. 60 calories a slice and high in fibre, whatever way you slice it. That's why anything baked is better with Brennan's. Today's bread today.
Hold that door. Where are you going with all that gear? I'm applying for a community heritage grant. Maps, a scanner, night vision goggles? For the nocturnal animals. But you don't need all that stuff, do you? Not at all. All you need is a worthy project, but the grant covers so many heritage projects, you can never be too prepared. Well, good thing we're going up, so give your project a lift. Apply for a community heritage grant at heritagecouncil.ie/funding. Applications close March 25th. Supported by the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by Grant. Building a new home? Choose Grant's A++ rated Airona air-to-water heat pump and Uflex underfloor heating. Visit grant.ie.
So, scattered cloud will develop during the afternoon, but staying dry overall. Feeling cool with highest temperatures of just around 6 to 8 degrees in moderate northerly breezes, backing westerly or variable, easing a little later on. Just a wee update for you. We were told that the portal for homeowners of defective concrete to access the claim section of the portal, we were told it would be open towards the end of last week or early this week. Not as of yet, but we're getting people to check in on that, and there is some talk that it might be available tomorrow. An important election year ahead, of course, and Donegal campaigners, defective concrete block campaigners, are urging DCB homeowners to attend a meeting to have their say on what a true 100% redress scheme looks like. Michael Doherty, who's a campaigner, of course, and a former PRO of the Micah Action Group, joins us to talk through this. Good morning to you, Michael. Good to see you again.
Hi, Greg. How are you doing? Good to see you too.
It's like the mafia, isn't it? You try and leave, but we just drag you back in.
Hotel California, yeah.
Okay. Right, it is a big year, isn't it? Lots of elections, council elections, European elections, and who's to say a general election. So why was this meeting called for the 4th of March at 7 p.m. at Grianan Hotel Burt?
Yeah, well, I think, whenever I left Micah Action Group 18 months ago now, my position at the time, firm position at the time, and is still the same position, is that we were getting no more out of this government than what we'd already got. We had a scheme that was designed not to deliver 100% redress, and that we have now seen that unfold as more and more people try to, either work their way through the scheme or even get onto the scheme. The difficulties, it has been fraught with difficulty the whole way through. So nothing new there. But what is new is the opportunity that comes around once every 5 years here with 3 elections, between local elections, national elections, and then the European elections, to hold now the opposition to account. The opposition that marched in Dublin twice with us on the 15th of June and on the 8th of October of 21, and claimed what they were going to do. What we found then difficult was that there was no proper definition of what 100% redress actually was, and that's why you've got Charlie McConlogue saying we're already getting it, Leo Varadkar and Michael Martin saying the same thing. In the Ardèche, just before Christmas time, you had Sinn Féin put a motion together for 100% redress, but what does it actually mean?
Okay,
what does
so
it mean
before
to the
we
homeowner?
talk
And
about
that's what
that,
we put together.
Before we talk about that, the way this is framed to me, it seems to be like you've got as much as you're going to get out of Fianna Fáil, the Fine Gaels and the Greens, and right now the elephant in the room is, can Sinn Féin deliver on the sun, the moon, the stars, the bells and the whistles? And to figure out what they are, so as if there is a change of government, it's right, lads, this is what 100% is, this is what you promised. It's time to get out off the ditch, so to speak, and hurl.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that. And with regards to the earth, the moon, the stars and the sun, I think what we're looking for is very, very reasonable. What we're looking for is our home put back like for like, to current regulations at no cost to the homeowner. What we're looking for is an end to, and that's the property part. The second P is the process is taken on end to end by the scheme, so you don't have pensioners trying to project manage one of the biggest challenges in their lives. The people and the support is that there's no one left behind. They're picking and choosing who they would want to give 100% redress to, even though there's no homeowner at fault here at all. And then the last one is prevention, as how do we basically put together a scenario that this crisis is never allowed to happen again, to ensure that the homeowners should never have to go through this again. And secondly, that the state is never paying out billions again for what was oversights all along. And again, a tab left by homeowners to pick up that is completely impossible to deliver on.
Yeah, because it shouldn't be forgotten that the campaign is not just for now, it is for the future, and this is driving, hopefully, industry change that no one else will have to go through this again. So, but what is 100% redress? That's the question. So I could attend the meeting and I could say, you know, I'm an accidental landlord with a second property that's fallen to bits, or I built a shed, or my shop is falling to bits, or my community centre is falling to bits. Like 100%, a true 100% scheme that doesn't leave anyone behind has to incorporate all of that, surely?
Yes. Exactly. And, you know, where this sort of came about was I'd watched from a distance at three lead campaign groups do their absolute best against a tide that was designed to not deliver 100% redress. And that was the Mike Action Group under Lisa Hone's leadership. And then you had Roisin Gallagher, the founder of the Redress Focus Groups. And then you have the Duracell man, Paddy Diver, and Lisa, that just keep going. Fair play to them. But the reality is we're not making ground. And that's obvious. Even on the banking group that done an excellent job and should have been set up for success, wasn't able to make it happen there either. So we have to go back and say, right, we tabled the amendments at the time that was designed to make the best of a bad scheme. It was never 100% redress. It was designed to make the best of a bad scheme, what we might have a hope to get under the existing government. But what we have this time in the form of the 4 Ps goes back to basics, goes back to grassroots, and it talks about a pure 100% redress, no less, which is what we marched in Dublin for the first time and did our best with. But again, you know, as I say, that tide was against us with existing government. And the question will be about this proposed government, and we expect Sinn Féin to be, you know, the lead element of a new government in due course this year. And, you know, it's important that when it comes to then holding them to account, that we have got a proper definition. So I went about that then at the end of October, start of November. I put together the 4 Ps as a straw horse, and then I called in Paddy, I called in Lisa, I called in Roisin to bounce it off. And we said we need to be united in this. And this is, you know, whatever we have by way of tactics to try to deliver on stuff and tackle the issues of the previous scheme, we need to be absolutely united.
So how do we describe this troika then? Is it just 3 groups working together? Is it one group now? I mean, how do you frame it?
You know, I think you know, each group are entitled to go and do what they do with their own teams, but it has to be against a very unified position on what 100% redress is.
But just in relation to that, because politics is a complicated and an interesting business, right? So in Donegal, you talk of Sinn Féin if they're leading the next government. We've got Pierce Doherty and we've got Padraig McLaughlin, who are both very high up in the party and will be under a serious amount of pressure to deliver on this, particularly Padraig McLaughlin in Inishowen. But at the same time, they might say, right, well, listen, we're making these commitments, we're going to follow it through. But because of the fact that you can't target politics specifically, it's incredibly possible that we could have the 100% redress party competing for the same seats for people that you will want to deliver on their promises. Now, if I were, I don't know, I'm not inside Padraig McLaughlin's mind for that matter, but it would feel like you're saying if I get elected and we're in government, you want me to deliver on this. I'm committing to you that we will. But at the same time, you know, we've got guys out there that are trying to take my seat. How does that work? Yeah. How do you square that circle?
Yeah, well, how I square that circle in my head is that we've got, you know, within the 26 counties, we've got two particular levels of election that are of interest to us, and that's the council elections and the TD elections. At this stage, 100% redress party. And remember, these guys founded this out of the pure frustration of what was happening, particularly at council level. And, you know, while we'll be pushing hard here for, you know, the next government to deliver, and that's the next level, that's the TD election, the general election, as you well know. But at a council election, we have attention, Féin councillors in there. And, you know, have we been blown away by their contributions? Absolutely we haven't. So I think it's fair for the 100% Redress Party to say, no, we're going to go in and represent ourselves here.
So it keeps the feet to the fire at the very least, or gets representation on the council.
Yes, absolutely, and go in and make their voices heard. And I think that's completely an honourable thing to do, incredible thing to do. But I think then when we're looking at the general election which will end up dictating who we have in government, then we need to be convinced that we have got the opposition parties and the likes of Thomas Pringle, let's not forget him down there either, as a very strong voice and advocate and has been all along. You know, and we've had independents throughout the country wanting to do that for us as well in the other affected counties. So I think when it comes into general election stuff, then it's slightly different. You're saying who are the people that can go into this government and have the power to deliver 100% redress? Then, you know, you have to think tactically differently.
Okay.
And that's where Sinn Féin come in.
It's been framed as a meeting. It's, you know, three groups at least coming together. It's the 4th of March, 7 p.m. at Grianan Hotel Burt. And really, it's to come from that meeting with public input, with a concerned party's input, to actually put together something very clear, and you correct me as I'm wrong going on this, that we can all say, right, this is what a true 100% redress scheme is. So if this is delivered, we have a majority of the room in favour of this. I think it's a very worthwhile exercise. But have I framed it correctly, or anything you want to add, Michael?
Yeah, no, I think that's about it, Greg. And I think it's important, you know, we need the people to rise up again this year. We rose up in 21 and did a really good job on it. But again, we were in a different situation. We give them the benefit of the doubt. We saw what they've delivered. We need to rise up in this year, and we need to make our voices very, very clear. We may end up back in Dublin. We may end up doing different things. But the starting point is to have a very clear message, first of all, from the 4th of March, that people are not lying down to what we've been given by this government. And then on the 26th of March, we will have the politicians come back and endorse it or otherwise publicly, mic in hand, and people there to question them on it. And then this goes on to the nose of every politician that hits every doorstep in either of the elections going forward, and that's the plan for this year.
All right, fascinating, interesting approach. Thank you very much indeed. Michael Doherty there, who is a campaigner and former Piro of the Micah Action Group. One little bit of housework. Sheila Lynch, congratulations, Sheila, from McGinn Avenue, Buncrana. You correctly answered Dunlow. I just have to correct, Caroline, is there not 2 family passes? So there's going to be another winner, okay? So I'll announce the second winner tomorrow, but Sheila Lynch, you're definitely a winner, and there's going to be another family pass for another listener who entered today, tomorrow, if that makes sense. But I'm out of time. Have a lovely Monday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 9. John Breslin's next.